15 minutes. That open was on cue because we spent so much time, and again, Kevin Acey will join us in an hour. We have the latest on the trade deadline and the struggling Padres who have lost 3 straight. But we spent so much time saying the Padres need, the Padres need, the Padres need. But it takes 2, Jim, in this equation. And we both woke up to the same thing. And we both thought the exact same thing. When AJ Preller was basically, like you asked someone out to go to prom and they like laugh in your face, is what happened earlier today. The Padres, according to Sean McAdam, made an offer to the Red Sox for Jarren Duran. It did involve Dylan Cease. It did involve Ethan Salas, and the Red Sox hung up the phone. According to Sean McAdam, they quickly rejected the offer for both Cease and Ethan Salas. We were talking yesterday about the Yankees and their top outfield prospect. And well, why don't you just trade Dylan Cease for the top outfield prospect? Because it's going to have to work for both teams. So maybe it still will for the Yankees or another team that's out there that is seeking starting pitching. The other argument is, do you trade starting pitching when you get starting pitching like you got last night from Yu Darvish? So we're here to react to it. 3 consecutive losses for a Padres team here on the road and a trade deadline now that is only 6 days away.
I do feel like, we woke up to that this morning, and we'll get to last night's game and Yu Darvish. Padres looking to end a 3-game losing streak later this afternoon. Woke up this morning, saw that report. I'm like, I'm glad the Red Sox said no quickly. I don't know why AJ Preller is so infatuated with Jarren Duran. We've talked about Jarren Duran, and he would be a nice fit, but he's not like, oh, he's the perfect fit for this team. Like, oh, imagine if this team had Jarren Duran on it. This team would just, take off like a rocket ship. I think they would be slightly better. You would have a better outfield defense for sure. Maybe you could, get Jarren Duran to recreate his almost 9 WAR season last year in the next couple of years while you have him under team control. Team control is probably the biggest thing why he wants Jarren Duran, but it brought me right back to 2020 and that article we saw earlier this year from Jerry DiPoto saying back in 2020 when Preller made like 9 moves at that fake deadline of the season and he wanted Austin Nola really bad. And he even told Jerry DiPoto, I don't care, I'll overpay for him. I feel like we're in the same situation again with AJ Preller. Is he wants guys so bad. He's like, I don't even care. I'll overpay. What do you want? And I think the Red Sox saved AJ Preller from himself there.
Well, maybe. I kind of looked at it like your offer is nowhere near what they're looking for. Like you're going to trade
that's a lot for Jarren Duran.
That's nothing.
You think so?
2 months of control and an injured catcher who's 18 for 3.5 years of control.
And another prospect.
I thought it was trying to fleece. I thought it was like another prospect. What other prospect do they have? That has, you're getting 3.5 years of club control for a player that was a top 5 outfielder in the sport last year. And you're trying to trade Dylan Cease, who's in the midst of a below average year, and a catcher that is, jury's completely out there. I thought it was more like, dude, that's not going to fly. I went back to the it's going to take 2 for this deal to get done. And also the Red Sox have now said, I think that they're not trading Jarren Duran. So it's not like even the Red Sox are saving Preller from himself. The Red Sox aren't going to trade
we're
Jarren
good.
Duran. But I see your point. I wouldn't want to overpay right now if I was AJ Preller because I don't even know what the purpose is. I mean, if you overpay right now, what, like you just said with Jarren Duran, I mean, how much are you really improving your chances of winning or getting to the postseason? I think you try to make improvements to your team, but not above everything else. I don't think you throw caution completely to the wind. We can get into what Ken Rosenthal wrote here today, but I'm kind of glad that maybe the Red Sox didn't even want to make that deal with AJ Preller because I feel as if, yeah, to your point, I don't think you have to go completely all in to go get a player of Jarren Duran's caliber. But the other thing is I looked at that deal and I'm like, why would the Red Sox make that trade? That makes no sense from a Red Sox perspective. 2 months of Dylan Cease, the catcher that's 18 years of age, that hasn't played in the year. So that's how I looked at it.
Yeah, I looked at it as a cry for a desperate move from AJ. I understand your point of like, oh, he's got a 5 ERA. He's 2 months left, until he's a free agent. And Ethan Salas is a hurt catcher and another prospect, whoever it is, or whoever was going to be in that deal. Okay. But if I'm trading my number 2 prospect in the organization, Dylan Cease, and another prospect, I understand the Salas thing, but just hear me out. For a outfielder that doesn't hit for much power, he's under team control. He had a really good season last year, but he's every other year in the big leagues, he's kind of underwhelmed. You're not trading for Juan Soto here. You're trading, Jarren Duran's a nice player, but does anybody think that he's going to put together of the next 3 years, 2 seasons like he did last year, or more like this season? Or is he the player? Is he more like the player this year or the player last year? I think he's more like the player this year. And to trade all that for Jarren Duran, for a guy that would help your team, but he's not going to one player is not going to change everything.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but then you wouldn't trade anyone.
And you're also trying to trade a guy at his lowest value with Ethan Salas as well.
Well, I guess, yeah. I guess look at it this way: if you're not going to give up Dylan Cease and Ethan Salas for Jarren Duran, then you're also not going to get a player of Jarren Duran's caliber. And I agree with you. Jarren Duran might not be Juan Soto, but if you're not getting Jarren Duran, what are you getting? Jarren Duran was at the top of the top of the wish list was a player of Jarren Duran's caliber. From Jarren Duran to the next outfielder, isn't there probably a drop? Because the next outfielder is Luis Robert Jr., who's hit 200 this year and makes $20 million next year.
Who's now hurt, by the way.
Who has a groin injury. Or Marcelo Zuna, who we told you makes no
That's
sense. And then Adolis Garcia, who's had an average year. I guess the point is, if you're going to move Dylan Cease, are you getting back a player even of Jarren Duran's caliber? And if Jarren Duran doesn't change their team, then how does Adolis Garcia change their team?
Well, you can trade for pieces that, like Adolis Garcia. I know Luis Robert Jr. is now hurt, but you can get a couple outfielders. You don't have to trade Ethan Salas and other prospects, in Dylan Cease. Ben Rice is another player that we've talked about with the Yankees. There's just multiple moves out there. I just looked at it this morning and I was like, whoa. I don't know. That's just my first reaction was like, whoa.
That
felt like
would
a
have
lot.
been an overpay?
I felt like it would have been a lot.
Interesting. I thought the quick rejection was the Red Sox being like, we wouldn't even entertain something this foolish. Because what would they really be guaranteed? 10 starts from a guy with a 5 ERA and a catcher that hasn't even done anything out of A ball. That's my thing. And listen, I could see it both ways. I think as we run around in circles, it goes back to this point. I don't know if there's anything that they're going to do that drastically changes their fortunes for 2025. And also, is there any move, a combination of Luis Robert and Ben Rice, and you add in Charlie Moore, and there it is. That trifecta, that's really changed the course of their season. I don't know if that's the case or not.
Also, the overvaluing of AJ's guys from AJ maybe it slapped him in the face here when the Red Sox said, yeah, no, not even close.
That's kind of my thought. Yeah, he thought that was an equal trade, and the Red Sox were like, that we wouldn't even consider such a thing.
Yeah, but I also do think it still feels like a lot. When you see that on paper, it feels like a lot. In the long run, maybe it doesn't even matter. Maybe Ethan Salas does suck. Maybe,
sucking, but yeah.
Dylan Cease is just, 2 months and he has a 5 ERA, so whatever. And whoever the other prospect is, whatever. And you have Jarren Duran for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Or, it turns the opposite way. Dylan Cease helps the Red Sox win a World Series and Ethan Salas becomes a really good player in a couple of years. And
sure,
Jarren Duran is kind of what he is right now for the next 3-4 years and just kind of an average outfielder.
That part of it, of course, is impossible to know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who wins a trade when a trade is made. I guess it proves this point. Ken Rosenthal today had a lengthy piece on AJ Preller, and in there, he said Preller will be one of the prime executives to watch at the deadline, pricing every available player, hence this Jarren Duran conversation, including his own. He will buy, he will sell. He again will distinguish himself as one of the few lead executives who operates without fear. And that was Ken Rosenthal, who started his article by saying it doesn't matter if AJ Preller is under control through 2036 or 2026. He's going to operate the same way. I give him credit for checking in on Jaron Duran. And I'm sure he's going to continue to check on all these players. I mean, we've heard today from John Heyman, Luis Robert Jr., they've checked in on, we know. Ramon Laureano with the Orioles, Stephen Kwan, we've talked about. And I think the names will just pile up in the days ahead here for Preller and the Padres.
I do think that, going forward here, I said, look, whoever AJ trades for, whatever AJ does at the deadline will tell you all you need to know about how he feels about this team. I think his aggressiveness towards a guy like Jaron Duran tells you he thinks this team can do something in the postseason. I think he looks at his team and says, I have an elite bullpen. I have Manny Machado on the team, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, Luis Ariz. I have Nick Pivetta, and we'll see about Michael King. And I trust the manager of the team, and I feel like we got to go for it. And so he's trying his damnedest to go out and get, any piece or every piece possible to try to help this team. The Jaron Duran thing, I think, honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm surprised that this even leaked this morning. Maybe this was an offer that was offered a while ago and it finally just leaked. I don't believe it was something that was offered in the recent days. And I think AJ has already probably pivoted because there's also reports that say that Jaron Duran's not going to get traded from the Red Sox. The Red Sox they're trying to win a World Series too.
Yeah, I think it was Sean McAdam who reported this news that then said it was very unlikely or not even going to happen that Jaron Duran would be traded. I guess my question for the other side is why the interest, if you're AJ Preller, to move Dylan Cease when you watch Yu Darvish pitch the way he's pitched and when you have Michael King on the IL? As in, can the Padres even afford to move Dylan Cease? We'll talk about that on the other side. Plus, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, is going to join us coming up at 3 p.m. We have great giveaways. We'll keep you updated on the trade deadline. And the Padres are trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They need to do that tonight behind their stopper in Nick Pivetta. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday. It's the Bonus Bucks giveaway. You can listen for the keyword. Enter to sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 3 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. We'll hear from Mike Schild hopefully this hour, and then Kevin Acee will join us from St. Louis coming up at 3 p.m. So yesterday on field, we watched Yu Darvish struggle mightily, and that's probably putting that even lightly. He allows 3 home runs. 8 runs overall, 3 in the third innings. His ERA is 9.2 through 4 starts. He's given them no quality and no length so far in 4 starts. And my question last night, when we were with Darnay on his show and when we were with us on our show, is are you so certain you want to move Dylan Cease when you've got a struggling, ineffective Yu Darvish, when you have Michael King, who's now being reported to start a sim game on Monday, I guess? So hopefully he's working his way back, but you still kind of never know. So when you have King who's been out, you have Darvish who has struggled, is it make a ton of sense? Does it make a lot of sense to move Dylan Cease when you have all these question marks in your rotation right now?
Everything's a risk because if you don't move Dylan Cease, then you have to pivot to move someone else, right? Or at least that's the thought process right now, is that AJ is looking to offload to add, sell and buy, because he can't just buy. He can't add $10 to $15 million of payroll to this roster.
Right.
Like that's just not in the cards with this team. So offloading to add seems like the thing that the Padres and AJ Preller are looking to do. Like that is what their plan is. So, all right, it's not Dylan Cease, then now it's Jake Cronenworth.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Jake Cronenworth, then who is it? Is it
Robert Suarez?
Robert Suarez.
Yep.
You know, we've done this last couple days. Choose Dylan Cease, Jake Cronenworth, or Robert Suarez.
Right. Luis Suarez.
Luis Suarez.
Yep.
The team needs offense. They are struggling on offense. They need bats. So why take away bats from your lineup that are done pretty well this season?
Mm-hmm.
Jake's been solid for them. And yeah, Luis Suarez has had a down year, but you trust at the plate that he can, you know, have a hot stretch of, you know, hit 350 over like a 3-week span.
Yeah.
He's done it before. Dylan Cease is the one player that's had a really down year. I don't trust him in the postseason. I don't know if they trust him in the postseason. Big games, I don't know if they trust him in big games. They might say they do, but do you trust Dylan Cease in a big game situation over Nick Pivetta? And I know Yu Darvish has been awful since his return, and Michael King's not even back yet. He is throwing a simulated game on Monday at Petco Park, but
you, I guess. No, I might not trust him in a big game, but I got to get to that big game, and I'm going to need someone to help get me there. Yeah, I get it. He's been up and down. He's got his 4.5 ERA.
We've talked about everything that is on the table is a risk. There's nothing that's like, oh, that's the clear course of action. Like they have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I do trust in Preller being able to figure it out. He traded Juan Soto and made his team better.
Right.
Like he did do that. We watched it play out, and a lot of people were critical, including ourselves, of trading away Juan Soto. So like, I think there's a lot less criticism coming into trade Dylan Cease. I think most people are kind of excited about it because you maybe get a return because there's not a ton of starting pitching on the market. But if there's not a ton of starting pitching on the market, if Yu Darvish is washed, if Michael King doesn't come back and look like Michael King, I don't even know how you navigate. Remember the whole 2021 second half. The issue in 2021 in the second half is they just ran out of starting pitching. Randy Vasquez has been great. It's got to continue. You know, they've gotten great production from the Ryan Bergerts and the Stephen Koleks. I guess you'll be relying more heavily on that type of player. So I understand it, but I think it's fair to have some skepticism considering Darvish and King.
I agree that there's no easy way to go about this at the trade deadline for them. Every scenario that's being thought of, the creativity part of it, which you've said, it's not really creativity. It's like we don't have another option.
Right, exactly.
We're not in a good spot.
Right.
So we have to subtract to potentially add, or we have to potentially just subtract to add. And the pieces that we have that we have to subtract, none of them are a good option. I don't think they're sitting there saying we want to trade Dylan Cease or we want to trade Jake Cronenworth. They're probably sitting there saying we don't have another choice potentially if we want to add pieces to this club that are going to be meaningful pieces.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess I look at it like some of these other quote unquote contenders, and these other contenders don't have to get as creative theoretically because there's other contenders that aren't going to sell to buy. Now there'll be another team or two that probably sells and buys, but there'll be other teams they're just straight buyers.
Well, the Red Sox are the perfect example of a sell to buy, potentially what they do at the deadline. Now, I don't know if they are going to go out and make any other moves. You know, the Raffy Devers trade that was a sell, but it was also like a clubhouse cancer that they wanted to get rid of.
And they said that immediately.
Yeah.
They kind of saw it as addition by subtraction. People scoffed at that, but it turned out to be
true so far
in the short term. You know,
I just think that they're almost damned if they do, they damned if they don't. They're in a rock and a hard place right now, the Padres.
Yeah, a little bit. I agree. I mean, listen, Ken Rosenthal wrote today, many in the industry expect the Padres to eventually crash under the weight of their big contracts. And then now he said this for years. Sustainability came up under Peter Seidler, right? It's not sustainable. Why would the Padres spend on Xander Bogaerts? Why would they extend Machado like that? Can they really give Fernando Tatis Jr. $340 million, right? Like that's been said before, but I think Preller, to his credit, has kept pushing that off. The idea that it can't be sustained. Well, they said that in the Peter Seidler era, and they're saying it right now. But then again, here we are, and they're a game up in a playoff spot. Yeah, they'll have a ton of change in 2026, but maybe something they do right now helps them in 2026 because they get controllability at the trade deadline. This idea that they may eventually crash under the weight of their contracts, possible, but to this point, he's been able to like fend that off. And hopefully that continues moving forward as well.
Every time we've had AC on the last week and a half, and I'm sure we'll ask him again today, he's mentioned like there might be some shocking move.
Yeah, but
I don't consider trading Cease or Cronenworth, now that we've talked about it at nauseum for the last week here, to be completely shocking out of the blue.
Right.
What's another shocking move with this team that you see?
Well, I feel like we've gotten both sides because we also got, if you're expecting a big trade, expect to be disappointed.
Oh, that too, yeah.
So that was within the last 2 weeks, and now it's that rival executives are expecting a big splash. And the addition of a big bat.
no splash, big splash. Right? Like no trade, big trade.
That's what I'm saying. Like everything's possible with AJ Preller, but I think we're all expecting something of significance. The question is, what will that be?
All right, make a freaking trade, bro.
He's got time. It's us that we're worried about. The latest from John Heyman on the Padres at the trade deadline, plus Kevin AC coming up at 3 p.m. Plus, we're getting you ready for the Padres and the Cardinals game 2 of their 4-game series. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. We'll start with the Padres. They lost game 1 last night to the Cardinals. 9-7. Game 2 is later this afternoon, 4:15. First pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. And the Yankees, they've made a trade today. They traded for Rockies third baseman Ryan McMahon. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
All right, Kevin AC, our Padres insider, will join us at 3 p.m. He is in St. Louis, where the Padres on field have now lost 3 consecutive games. Now, they did score 7 runs yesterday, this wild back and forth game. We were on the air for most of the wildness. I think it was 7-5 early. And the Padres came back from 7-2. They pulled to within a run. They couldn't get over the hump. They certainly had opportunities, by the way, late in that game. On this road trip, they're 3-4. And what's interesting there is offensively, they've scored 7 runs twice and 8 runs once. I think that's right. In these 7 games.
Yeah.
And they were really good in 1-run games. They've lost a couple of 1-run games. And I'm all for adding to the offense. I'm not saying, hey, you're fixed. You scored 7 runs against the Cardinals or scored 8 runs against the Washington Nationals. But it is encouraging. Toddy, Merrill, Arise, Machado, 10 combined hits yesterday. Got to win the games. But that part of it is encouraging. Go add some pieces at the bottom of your lineup. The 10 hits from those 4 yesterday, encouraging. Let's see what happens the rest of the weekend.
It's encouraging, but can you do it for like a long stretch? Like one game's one game. I need to see it. I need to see it for longer than that. I just do. I know 3 times this road trip. Washington Nationals. Last night against a pitcher that has been really good at home, Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
And they did light up Mackenzie Gore. I need to see it for a longer period of time. I can't just say a couple games and like, oh, they're back. Like Mike Schultz after Sunday. It's like, oh, they're back. They had a good game last night, but they didn't win. They got 10 hits from the top of their lineup. If I told you they had 10 hits from the top of their lineup, you would tell me they better win that game. And they lost. Now, today is win day for the Padres. You have your ace on the mound. You're going up against a pitcher that has a 5.2 ERA. Today's win day.
100%.
And I'm going to need to see the offense continue to be consistent. You can't have these ebbs and flows, these highs and lows that we've seen. The high being on Sunday where they scored 8 runs and had the grand slam, and they could barely score runs off the Marlins.
We're going to say that all year, though. There's not going to be a consistent stretch where they score 7 runs.
Yeah, well, that's who they are. But I'm not saying they need to score 7 runs. I'm just saying the guys in the lineup that are expected to produce, like, now they don't need to do it every game, but hey, can we not have a month where Tatis has 1 home run? Can we not have a month where Jackson Merrill has no home runs? Can we not have a month when the team, with runners in scoring position is awful?
Yeah, I have a feeling no matter what they do at the deadline, and we're going to talk about the offense from here on out. I don't think it's going to be consistent. I don't think it's improving to be a top 10 offense in the sport. And it does, I think what speaks to their struggles right now is that you get good starting pitching in Miami, you lose a couple of games. You get offense yesterday. I mean, you hit 3 home runs. They didn't hit 1 home run in Miami. They hit 3 home runs in 1 game. They scored off Sonny Gray, who had a 2.8 ERA at home. They scored 7 runs off him in 5 innings, and they can't win the game. So that's the confusing part of it. And here's the thing, with 59 games left, here's the thing. I'm with you. I want to see consistency of offense. I want to see them win. If they can consistently win 3-2 from here on out and get to the postseason, I'll take it.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it at this point. I don't need to see the offense consistently score 7 runs. I mean, I'd like it, but I also have to be realistic, and I'm not expecting that to happen over the last 2 months of the year.
If they win every game 2-1 the rest of the way, no one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, again, that would mean that the pitching would be the greatest pitching in the history of the sport for over that period of time. But still, the point remains, we are at the point of the season. I said this last on the wrap-up show, where all that matters is the result. We're getting close to that. We are entering the stretch run of the season. I think we are less than 60 games or
59.
Yeah, 59 games remaining. I'm not afraid to say this is a sprint right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sprint. Because that's what happens at the trade deadline. After the deadline, it feels like it's a sprint. You get through the dog days of August, and then we're in September, and every game, if you're in the hunt, matters. Like even more so. It feels like it matters so much. Every loss feels like the worst thing in the world. Every win feels like it's the greatest thing that ever happened. Like we're close to that stretch. And so I don't care about, well, man, he hit the ball really hard off the bat, but he went over 4 tonight with, 2 strikeouts. Like, I don't care. I don't care about anybody's spin rate. I don't care about anybody's FIP. I don't care about anybody's expected slug percentage. I don't care about hard hit balls off the bat. All I care about is results at this point of the season going forward. The results are all that matters. And if you don't win the game and you score 7 runs, that's okay, cool. Guess what? You still lost.
I agree. I mean, and the results, unfortunately, are since they were 14-3, thankfully that counts.
Yeah.
But since they were 14-3, they've been very underwhelming. I mean, they're 41 and 44. No, excuse me. They're 41 and 45.
Yeah, 41, 45.
41 and 45 in the last 86 games. I mean, I don't know what every team's record is in baseball over the last 86. My guess is the Padres have the 20th best record in the sport over the last 86 games. Like, it's not good. It's not even average because they're 4 or 5 games under 500. That's the concerning trend that, yeah, they were 14-3, but that's so long ago that is there any semblance of that coming at any point in the near future? Maybe. Again, last year, you mentioned at the trade deadline last year, I think they were 8 games over 500 or 9?
59 and 51.
So right here, identical record, like right here, this team's 7 over. So they were right in this spot, but the trends were a little different, and the trends have to matter because they were trending upwards at the deadline. Now, based on 10 days, they went 8-1 or 8-2, but this team doesn't have the same trend lines as last year's team.
They went on a 10-1 stretch leading to the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible.
Because they lost the first game of that road trip, and they won 8 in a row.
But then they lost another game, so it wasn't 10-1. They lost the last game of the road trip.
So 10-2.
Yeah.
Because they came home and they swept the Dodgers for a quick 2-game series.
Okay, so 10-2.
Yeah, 10-2 leading up to the deadline. And even before that, I know they were 500, and that's when they went on their run, obviously. Right. But we could also say that first half last year, there were some moments where, like, whoa, the comeback victories, the offense. There were some moments, walk-offs, of like we were talking about last night. Last year's team had like 25 top 10 moments.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't count that many right now. Now the season's not over. Obviously, there's plenty of time for those moments to still happen. But the point is, last year at this time, there were a good amount of moments that I could be like, oh, hey, that moment. This year, I'm like, yeah, they had this moment, and they're kind of going along their business, and
there haven't been that
treading
many.
water. They're just treading water.
Yeah, like I would say too, like, yeah, the treading water, you may end up drowning.
Yeah,
like
you could.
The pace that they're on here, and you mentioned it last night, like you're susceptible to any one team playing well and just lapping you. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't take 2 teams. It takes like one team. Cincy, San Francisco, St. Louis, Arizona shouldn't happen, but you don't know. Someone like that, one team goes 9-1 over a 10-game stretch. Bye-bye.
And you know who that team was last year? The Padres.
That was the Padres.
Yep. That was the Padres.
Yeah, but if Cincinnati goes 9-1 and you go 5-5, and those 4, now all of a sudden, you're looking up at them.
Mm-hmm. Giants.
Yep.
I mean, Cardinals. They beat you last night.
That's why you don't want to lose this series to St. Louis. You're giving them hope.
Mm-hmm. I don't. It's to lose a 4-game series. That it's tough to lose a 4-game series. Sorry, it's tough to get swept in a 4-game series.
Right.
For me, it's like just get out with a split.
Yep, I agree.
Just get out with a split. I don't think they're getting swept in this series because we saw a lot of that last time on the wrap-up show. Like, they're going to get swept. It's like, guys, you know how hard it is to sweep a 4-game series?
Yeah, it's an overreaction of 1/4 of the series.
Yeah, but getting home 5-5 off this trip is what I said. If they did, I would be totally fine with. And then you come home and you take 2 or 3 from the Mets, and then you're right back where you started last year at the deadline.
True.
You're 9 games up. Now, they were 8 over last year. If you're 9 up this year, then how could you not feel good?
You're right. I mean,
even with the trend lines not particularly all that great, they're still like, man, they haven't played great baseball, but they're still 9 over 500.
If they get there, yes, I'm with you. But to get there, that's 2 out of the next 3 in St. Louis.
I know it's
It's
going to be
two out
tough.
of the next
Yeah.
3 against the New York Mets. And, you're going to have to do it, I assume, pitching you Darvish every 5th day. Like, I don't think he's lost his job, but I'm not overly encouraged based on what we've seen. And Michael King, it sounds like he'll be back. But again, when? From sim game to major league mound? Is that a week or is it a month? Because if it's a week, it's August. If it's a month, it's September.
If it was you, Darvish, it'd be a month and a half.
Exactly.
And by the way, I'm going to give Darvish at least one more start.
Well, they have no choice.
I meant for just like for me,
you. Gotcha.
not for them, but like for me, before I start potentially really like saying this is bad.
Yeah,
this ain't it. Coming off the injury that he came off of, not pitching as long as he did, and getting back into it. Last night was awful. It was just really bad. You can't spin it, Schulte. Sorry, there's no spinning of last night. None. But I will say Sonny Gray also had a bad night too, and Sonny Gray had a sub-3 ERA at home this year, and he's been pitching pretty well. He just came off of a performance. I think he pitched a shutout with 11 strikeouts against the Indians. So he's been pitching pretty well. His ERA was almost sub-4 after starting off not well. So last night, he also doesn't pitch well, and it's like 112 degrees with a humidity of like 150 there. Sure. It was just, the ball was just flying out of that ballpark last night. So I'll give him one more start. See how he does at home against the Mets when he's scheduled to pitch next. And if he still does not pitch well and he looks the same and he can't get into the 5th or out of the 5th inning or can't get to the 6th inning, then it might be time to be like, okay, we have some major problems here.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll give him another one because there's no other choice. And I'm with you. It has only been 4 starts and he was out for the better part of a year, but we can't see it again. I can't see 4 innings
or less than
5 runs. I can't see that the next time he's on the mound. All right. The latest trade rumblings with the trade deadline approaching, plus Kevin Acee, your Padres insider at 3 p.m. on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, Kevin AC at 3 p.m. Sammy Long, by the way, in for Brent. What are you doing, Sammy?
What's up, boys? How you doing?
How you doing?
This is my debut on the John and Jim show.
This isn't your debut. You've been on the show
before.
6 times.
Have I? Oh, yeah. When it's Sasaki signed. I do remember that.
Yeah, you've been with us, man. Come on. I'm going to look at, listen, Sammy, here's your job today.
Don't F it up.
No,
if you do, you're fired.
If you mess it up, that's fine. If something happens with the trade deadline, tell us. Okay. We'll know within like 35 seconds, but if something happens, which won't, it'll happen at 6:01. But if something happens, you tell us. Kevin AC is going to join us coming up at 4 p.m. or no, 3 p.m. Excuse me, in about 15 minutes. So you're not a numbers guy, right? Like you're not overly concerned about numbers, any of them, like ones and twos and fours and eights.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is you're not concerned what the data would say, this team only has X% chance of doing this, or the odds, fan graphs, playoff odds, zips projections. You're not overly concerned with that stuff, right?
I'm not. I think I'm less concerned with like World Series odds at like this point in the season. I can be convinced otherwise of playoff odds, because then you look, I think if you look at strength of schedule, I think those things matter. I think, who you play matters. But where are you going with this?
Where I'm going with it is Fangraphs takes it all into account and they spit out a number every day. Actually, every time a game is complete in baseball, it'll impact the playoff odds of every team.
Yeah.
As we sit here today, the Padres in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, 55-48 overall, currently in possession of the final wildcard spot. Fangraphs gives the Padres a 43.0% chance of making the postseason, which means they give them a 57% chance of not making the postseason. Are we seeing it through the right prism?
So wait, who's ahead of them to make it over them?
No one. That's why you're not a numbers guy.
Okay, then I don't get it.
You add the other teams up and it equals 57. But only one team, being the Padres, is 43.
So wait, hold on.
So the Giants have a 39% chance. But there's other teams.
Okay, so run through the top teams in the National League for me.
Dodgers in, 99%.
All right.
Cubs in, let's just say 95.8%.
Okay.
Phillies, we should feel good, 93.6. Mets, we should feel good, 92.3. Brewers, we should feel good, 94.8. What they're saying is 5 spots are locked. So how could the Padres have a better than 50% chance against all the other teams? So they have the best chance among the contenders to make the final spot, but that doesn't mean they're the odds-on favorite to do it. Like they don't have a 50% chance of doing it because there's other teams that are vying for the same spot.
But wouldn't one team need to have like good odds to make it because of that one spot?
No. How do you not? Okay, so no.
This is why I don't do numbers.
I'm trying to put it in another way.
There's multiple teams that have a shot to make the playoffs.
And they have the best
50-50.
Yeah. They have the best of the remaining teams to make the postseason.
Rest of the pie.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a whole pie out there. Yeah. Among the pie of 100, they take up 43, and the Giants, Reds, Cardinals,
so the Padres
take up 57.
Yeah, the Padres have the best shot of the teams that are vying for that final wildcard spot to make the postseason, right?
Yes, but the shot overall of making the postseason per the analytics or Fangraphs is less than 50-50.
Okay.
So does that factor in? This is the whole Preller MLB Network Radio. My team tells me who they are, and then I strike based on that. Is he looking at something like that? Like my team has a coin flip chance of making the postseason.
I don't think he's looking at that. I don't think he's looking at Fangraphs every day and be like, our percent chance of making the postseason drop today, guys.
Well, even if it's not Fangraphs, is he looking at the standings like, yo, we're 1 game up, guys? Are we holding off San Francisco, Cincinnati, St. Louis, and any other team?
I think the first thing he's looking at is his team.
Okay.
And how he feels about his team. And then next he's looking at the competition around them.
Yep.
And who they're going to have to beat out to make the postseason. And I think he also looks at trend lines. And I think he also looks at schedule.
No, I agree.
I don't think he looks at percent chances of we're 43% chance to make it today.
Okay, so at what point, here's my question, because I've agreed with this point, but I'll push back a little bit. This idea that it doesn't matter what they do over these last 5 games before the deadline, he's going to do whatever he's going to do. Are we fair to really say that it doesn't matter? Because if they lose 2 of the next 3 in St. Louis, if they, lose 2 of 3 to the Mets, does that really not impact him as you look at what's going on around you? Now your trend lines are worse. Now your opponents, have come even with you or ahead of you for that final wild card. Does none of that matter because there's still 50 something games on the other side?
I don't think they're going to lose 5 in a row here to go to the deadline, because that would mean they'd have lost 8 in a row.
That'd be a disaster.
Either do I. Not going to be great.
Neither do I.
And so they're going to win a couple games here
and lose a couple games.
And guess what? They'll either be up by a game or 2 for the last wild card spot, or down by a game or 2 for the last wild card spot.
Fair.
So are you just going to be like, oh man, we're a game back of the wild card. Screw it. We're punting.
It's not that punting. It's just like, are you willing to then include like the Ethan Salases and your pitching prospects and your
when you have a chance,
players?
When you have a chance to make the postseason, and we know anything can happen in the postseason, including a 24 straight scoreless innings from a baseball team, you take your shot. You don't just say, oh, we're going to punt. We're not going to make a move.
It punting?
It's AJ evaluating the risk reward of things, and he's always a risk reward guy. Like he's always a guy that wants to do something that might be very risky, but he knows on the other side the reward could be really, really good.
Yeah. So he's like fearless in that.
He's definitely fearless.
But you're right. But we've also said they've played 103 games and they've gotten to this point, and they're in a playoff position. So are you really punting by making minimal upgrades? If the team you've had for a majority of the season has been good enough to vie for a playoff spot, if by not making major overhauls, are you punting, or are you just trusting it to figure itself out and potentially get in?
Wasn't that a kind of disservice to your team of, if you don't make any moves, you're basically telling them, I don't really believe in you guys?
Well, I don't know if it's I don't really believe in you or I believe in you, go do it.
He's done that before and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, it was 2021.
And then he tried a fake move, or he tried to make some fake moves that,
I mean, I was on board with that as opposed to making real moves.
Right.
I mean, I would have traded off, but I wouldn't have bought in 2023.
Yeah, 2023 was just so weird.
Yep.
Like there's like Rich Hill and Garrett Cooper. Is like, what are we doing here?
But you think it's you think it's a disservice if they stand pat, relatively speaking, but we think that they're improving their chances if they move Dylan Cease to bring in.
I think the club
around
always, especially an AJ Preller led team, I think they always, from that clubhouse perspective, are like, what's AJ going to do? What's AJ going to do? We know what happened in 2021, how that pretty much crumbled the clubhouse. Everyone thought that they were getting Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, and it didn't happen. He went to the Dodgers instead. And everyone's like, what the hell?
That wasn't good.
And then the energy that the club felt in 2022 from getting Juan Soto, the energy the club felt last year when they got some of the best relievers that were on the market, and Tanner Scott and Jason Adam. Like, a club can feel that. They feel energy, and they can get, heading into the dog days, they get a boost from that, from a move that is made, and it's the GM signaling down to the clubhouse, I believe in you guys. Now go do it. Now, if he doesn't if he doesn't make a move,
he doesn't believe in them.
I don't think he believes in them. I think he's just going to tell everybody he believes in them and say, we have the pieces here. And if they just perform and produce, then we have the right pieces to make a run. But I have been saying it all along. We're going to know exactly how AJ Preller thinks of his team, or exactly what he thinks of this team, by the moves he makes at the deadline. And I think right now, him going for Jaron Duran and all these big names, and everybody inside baseball is saying, dude, AJ is trying to swing big here. I think he feels like this team can make a run.
I agree with you. I wonder, and we'll talk to Kevin Acee on the other side, is that how he should feel based on the way the team is playing at being 41-45 in their last 86 games? Kevin Acee from St. Louis on the other side, the latest on the trade deadline and the Padres struggles. That's next. Hour 2, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres losing game 1 of their 4-game series to the Cardinals last night in St. Louis, 9-7. Game 2 later this afternoon, 4:15 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. And one trade in baseball today, Yankees trading for Rockies third baseman Ryan McMahon. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Kevin Acee on San Diego Sports 760. Brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
All right, let's head out to steamy St. Louis, where the Padres and Cardinals are getting ready for game 2 of their 4-game series amidst the backdrop of the upcoming trade deadline. Always great to connect with our Padres insider, Kevin Acee. As we know on field, Kevin, the Padres have lost 3 straight. How did the struggles of, let's say, Yu Darvish and the unknowns about Michael King, although I know he's throwing a sim game, but we don't know exactly what he'll look like on the other side. How did Darvish and King and those question marks, in your opinion, impact what the Padres may or may not do with Dylan Cease?
They need to get what they want, and everything has to work out because obviously, unless you're trading Dylan Cease straight up for the bat that you need, you're going to need to trade Dylan Cease. You're going to need to get another pitcher back. Or I should have said, if you are trading Dylan Cease straight up for another bat, then you need to make a separate trade to get innings back, and it better be someone good. And that's regardless of those other 2 guys. But to your question, it's more on the Padres, and they feel like they can't screw this up. They have got to bolster the top of that rotation. They do not have anything resembling a playoff rotation right now.
All right. Well, with that being said, in your opinion, with his name swirling around in trade rumors, in your opinion, the likelihood of Dylan Cease being traded, give me a % chance in your opinion.
I'm going to pop out a little bit and go 50-50, but you got to they've made offers, but those are at this point are hey, here's the offer. If, and if someone takes it, great. We're not down to the brass tacks yet. We're just not. Now, maybe, gosh, with every trade, maybe it gets a little bit closer to that. But I don't think there's any way to tell right now because, like I said, they have to get everything has to come together. They can't be giving away whatever Dylan Cease's ERA is, however much he's struggling, whatever. You need another pitcher back if you're going to give up Dylan Cease. Now they believe they can, but this is a really perilous time for them with their starting rotation.
Yeah, it leads you down a path where we've seen them run out of starting pitching before. Do you really want to trade away a starting pitcher, even if he's been quote unquote down? He's still giving you innings. He's been healthy. I'll ask it like this, and Jim has brought up this point. Do we believe that AJ Preller is going to make all the necessary? Is he going to take the big swing based on the reports that he even went after a player like Jarren Duran? Does going after a player like Jarren Duran lead you down the path that Preller, even though he swung and missed on Duran, is going to take another big swing again?
And it'll be for Duran too. That's just, there was a bunch of swings and misses and talks and back and forth, however we want to put it, before Juan Soto, right? So, the fact that he's willing to give up, and I think it was trending that way, though there is concern from other teams, obviously, about Ethan Salas's health to a certain extent. DeVries was always the guy who, they say, is a part of the family. He's not going anywhere. But Salas, you thought was fairly untouchable too. That's what they talked about him. But there were different levels. The DeVries is untouchable, but the fact that he's willing to go basically almost anybody else, yes. And you've been just hearing both inside and from outside, just the things you do hear, that they are going to go big. They know what is at stake this year. Now, again, so Dylan Cease unloads a little salary. Can they do something else that if they don't get rid of Cease to unload a little salary to be able to fit some people in there, because they're not going to invest that much more than they already have, which is, one of the top 10 payrolls in the majors.
And going big, and you've mentioned it before with us in the recent weeks here of like they might do something that might shock people, right? Does that involve?
And by that I mean letting go of someone.
Yeah, that's
then that makes you get, oh wow, because I think that to a certain extent, and sorry to cut you off, but like that, even getting a Duran is like, I mean, that's a big swing and a little bit shocking that the Padres could pull that off. Given the fact that, they didn't have a lot to give up. So that means that like it requires a lot of moves.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. I've been asking this, like, what about trend lines? Last year trending up. I know it was only those final 10 days. Essentially, they just took off before the deadline and went from a 500 team to 8 or 9 games over 500. This year, we talk about this so often, 41-45 now, Kevin, in their last 86 games. I mean, that is the bulk of the season, obviously. If that were to continue, they're likely on the outside looking in. They're not getting to the postseason with 81 or 82 or 83 wins. Is that at all part of this conversation, or caution to the wind? High payroll, you got a core in their prime, and you got to take advantage of that window regardless of how the team is playing.
Caution to the wind, because this is who they are. This is a big year for the Padres, big year for Preller. The fans have shown up. There is no reason to not go for it, but primarily it's the team that you have and what they think their team can be. There's two things like that I'll say is that they were 5 games under for exactly 3 months in 2022. So, recently playing better gets them back to where you can make that comparison. I think for a while it was like they were even worse than that, right? Over the last, few months. And then the other thing is 2023 Diamondbacks, and I could probably do my research and find some more, but like there are so many different ways to get to the playoffs. You can't give up when you're at this point 7 games over. You can't give this is and it has been for basically the whole time. You are buyers at this point.
Yeah, and back to the trend lines, 2021, the trend lines were pointing down. He tried to trade for Scherzer, and then he came out famously and it was like, well, we got the pieces here. They just need to perform. And then it all fell apart. 2023, he makes the moves for like Rich Hill and Garrett Cooper and try to, buy pieces around the edges here. To me, it feels like whenever Preller makes moves at the deadline, he lets you know without telling you what he feels of his team or how he feels about his team. So it feels like at this point, he must feel, if he's going for Jaron Duran, he's trying to do these creative things like offloading Ceason to add this piece and add this piece. I guess it kind of feels to me that he feels pretty confident with his team going here forward.
That's a good observation. It really is. I don't know about this year's team. They want to believe in this year's team.
Yeah.
And I would think they more have to believe in this year's team, and they have to be buyers. I'm not saying like they don't believe in this year's team, but like they're aware of their holes and their shortcomings. And they But that's a really good observation. Like in 2021, obviously that was garbage. The after part where he said we're good enough with what we have.
Right.
But they went for Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. I mean, like maybe that could have been enough in 2021 to reverse what was happening at that point. I don't know. And then 22, obviously the big swing. 23, I think they knew where they were at. And then you also look in hindsight and know that Peter wasn't really in charge at that point. I mean, he was, but like, there were some other factors at play there, but also like it just felt kind of lost by that point. So that's a really good observation. I just don't know if it correlates to this year, given the fact that like they were all in anyway. And, obviously unless there was, and we talked about this before the season, if they had been, 500 or below 500 and there had been some, even worse trend lines, then they would have been sellers, but given where they're at, they're buyers.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He's with us from St. Louis. So what now for Darvish, other than he's in your rotation, he pitches every 5th day, but there's a point where you're not going to pitch him every 5th day. I assume that's not now. It's only been 4 outings. You could make the justification for the rust, but he obviously really struggled yesterday. What happens if he goes out there against the Mets next week and doesn't make it out of 4 innings. What's on the other side of this for you, Darvish? They're not just going to throw him out there every 5 days if he pitches like this.
Valid question. Certainly something that we should be concerned about. My understanding from people that I do trust and that do know more baseball than any of us, that Yu Darvish had a bad night last night, and he ran into a team, by the way, that got shut out by the Rockies at Coors Field, and it was the first time the Rockies had shut anybody out in 220 games. No, 120 games. No, 220. Yes, long ass time. And like, I'm not making an excuse for the Padres or for Yu Darvish. He made terrible pitches. My point is, like, he made bad pitches, and there was a team that, you know, their manager had ripped them the day before, and it was just, you know, a night. My point is, he had a bad night. And he is rusty, but like, they're not close to where he's not pitching every 5 days. But without a doubt, and I think my coverage in the last couple of days, the story I'm about to write right now about Michael King coming back and the significance of that, or, you know, doing the sim game and the significance of that. I mean, valid point by you. Like, that this is a concern, and that's how I started out. Like, man, this Dylan Cease thing is making my head spin based on the state of their rotation.
And that's where I was going to go with next with Michael King. We talked about, you know, if Yu Darvish is going to pitch like this, trading Dylan Cease doesn't really make a lot of sense. But do you maybe feel like they have, you know, they feel good about where Michael King is at in his return? I know he's doing the same game on Monday at Petco. Mm-hmm. Like, do they feel good about Michael King and his recovery so far? And maybe because they might feel good about him, maybe that gives them the reassurance to maybe then move Dylan Cease like they've been trying to do.
It does. It does seem that they feel very good, that Michael King feels very good. And we want to remember that he didn't have like an injury. He had a nerve impingement that once that got better, the whatever around it went down, and he could move his arm and have some strength back in his arm. It's a matter of building up. So it's not like a comeback from an injury, like, oh no. The big thing is to not overdo it, just like in spring training and that sort of thing. So, but with slightly more urgency than spring training, and then to hit the ground running as best you can, right? His layoff won't have been as long as Darvish, but it requires some rehab starts. He hasn't pitched as long as Darvish. That's why my head's swimming, Jim. I mean, like, it's like, well, still though, like, if Michael King were here, you know, and had a sub-2 ERA, had maintained a sub-2 ERA, and if Darvish was like better, like, still, when you give up Dylan Cease's innings, you've got to get someone. And I know there's a plan for it, but it's still like this is crazy what's happening with their rotation. A little crazier than 2021 because it was like, oh, well, they've lost so many people. Now it's like they've actually been doing pretty good without these guys. But now we're getting to the point where you expected to have them back. And now you're talking about giving one of them away or trading one of them. And then one of them ain't doing anything for you except losing games. And one of them hasn't come back yet. So this is just a crucial point in the season for the Padres in their rotation.
Kevin, final one for me before you go is this accurate, what we've heard today? Does your reporting source the fact that they did try to trade for Jarren Duran? They've offered Dylan Cease, Ethan Salas, maybe another player as well. Is that something that you believe has played out?
I believe. I don't know the specifics of that. And what I will say is that, yes, they've been talking to him, and that was something that was known before. I do not know the specifics of that. Offers come in all sorts of ways, and you know, and all that. So I honestly, I don't know the nature of that one. I don't suspect that they felt that and I don't know if that was the first offer. I don't suspect they felt that the first offer was going to get them Jarren Duran. The Red Sox are dealing from a position of strength.
Yeah, and it almost seems like trying to trade Ethan Salas is from a position of weakness for a guy that's only played 10 games this year. And you'd be selling at such a low point on what at one point was one of the bigger prospects in the sport. But we'll see in the days ahead. Kevin, we appreciate you joining us from everywhere. Dallas Fort Worth Airport, St. Louis, Missouri. Jim, you got one more?
How's the shirt game coming, Kevin? I know you only packed a certain amount of shirts for the trip.
I packed 10 and for 12 or for 11 games, 12 days of coverage with the All-Star game. So feeling good. Just laundered 2 of them, got them back, and I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be great.
Just wanted to make sure you're not wearing any, like shirts twice on this trip, and we're all good. That are dirty at least.
In this weather, no. In San Diego, you can wear a laundered shirt a couple times. You don't do that here.
Not as much as 110 with the heat index.
It's fine.
Kevin, appreciate it. And we will catch up with you when the Padres get back home on Monday. So thank you.
One more pre-deadline appearance. All right.
One more pre-deadline appearance. Is that right? Wait a second. Hold on.
Wait, I think
and then the day. Wait, is then the day of the deadline?
No, the 30th. So the 28th is Monday. The 30th is Wednesday.
And luckily, they have an off day on the deadline day.
Yeah,
2.
So 2 more. We'll see if he makes a move by Monday.
I already looked that up. I was like, that screwed me. All right. Yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right,
Travel
guys.
safe. All right, Kevin ACR Padres Insider brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We react on the other side, plus tell you about some of our giveaways here today. We're here until 6. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. You can weigh in 877-767-4760. We just heard from Kevin Acee. We will react. We do want to also remind you, AM radio keeps Vital Voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we do need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now. Keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates do apply.
Well, they could do something or they could do nothing.
Sounds like our show. Yeah.
Could happen or it couldn't happen.
It's hard to know. I mean, unless you're AJ Preller, unless you're the ownership group, I mean, it's hard to truly know. I think most, like you said with Kevin there, I mean, most of the reports are, it's what Ken Rosenthal says, Kevin, Dennis. I mean, there's reasons to believe they'll be incredibly active.
There's also reasons to believe that Dylan Cease
could be traded. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
You know, Kevin's more worried about it than I think a lot of people are.
Starting pitching?
Starting pitching.
I mean, I'm worried about it. I will raise my hand if at the end of the year, say you traded away starting pitching and you didn't get your desired result. You're asking for trouble. I'll say that right now. Because I'm just telling you that doesn't, I don't know. I don't know what the option is if you trade him away, who you're bringing back to backfill.
It would feel different to me if Cease was actually like having a pretty decent year, but he's having a really awful year. Like for his standards. But I mean, you know, a 4.58 ERA, a WHIP over 1.3, a 3-10 record. It is, you know, records are what they are. But still,
you're saying that's replaceable.
The one thing that would maybe be difficult to replace, and I would agree with this, is the innings part of it, because you have to get innings somewhere.
Yeah, 113 so far.
That's a lot of innings.
Yeah.
How many starts has he made? 21.
He's been 5 2/3 per start.
He posts, and by posts I mean he's out there every fifth day.
Yep.
You know, he's not missing any starts.
No.
How many consecutive years has he made 30 starts or more?
He has not missed a start since ever. I don't think, since he came up in 2019. I don't think he's missed a start.
So he posts. I mean, he's out there every fifth day. So that in itself is a valuable thing to have with a pitcher.
Yep.
But at some point, like, just take the numbers he has right now and instead be like, that's Kyle Hart's year. We'd be like, Kyle Hart, why are you still pitching on this team?
Right. Or like you would live with this. This is like your number 5 starter.
Or if
Randy Vasquez had a 4.6.
Yeah, if you just took Randy Vasquez ERA and you flipped it with Dylan Cease's ERA,
right,
it'd be much different.
Yeah.
But still, that right there, what he's giving this team is a 5th starter.
I would agree.
The innings, maybe a 5th starter's not pitching that much, and maybe they haven't thrown that many innings, but all the other numbers, that's a 5th starter numbers across the board.
Yeah, it's weird
for the most part.
It is weird. Yeah, it's compelling what you're saying.
So when you look to trade him, take the name out of the equation. It's Dylan Cease, right? Just put the numbers in the spot of the name. You're trading away a 5th starter right now. A guy that's pitching like a 5th starter.
That's what the numbers would suggest. Yes. Now, is he capable of pitching like a number 2 starter? I've asked that question for 20 straight starts.
Had some outings where he has looked like that. Yes. His last start against, his second to last start, the first start of the road trip.
He was really good.
Struck out 12, walked none against the Washington Nationals.
Right.
And then his last start against Miami wasn't a bad start, just wasn't a great start. It was just like, okay. But still, it wasn't the reason why they lost that game. I'll tell you that.
That's a good point. All right, let's go to the phones here real quick. Dave wants to weigh in. 877-767-4760 if you want to join in. Dave, thanks for the patience. You're on with John and Jim. Dave, we got you now?
We don't have you now.
All right, Dave, call back.
Did you press the program button there, Sammy?
Yeah.
Is this? Interesting.
I didn't do my job, Jim.
Yeah.
No, I was just asking.
All right.
Just trying to troubleshoot.
877-767-4760. If you do want to weigh in, we'll continue to react to our conversation with Kevin Acee. We're leading you up to game 2 of a 4-game series in St. Louis. Padres and Cardinals. Nick Pivetta looking to be the stopper once again. Padres have 8 wins as a team coming off a loss this year with Nick Pivetta on the mound. Stay with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by the Jim Petrell Real Estate Team. Padres and Cardinals, game 2 of their 4-game series. Later this afternoon, 4:15, first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. One trade in baseball today. Yankees trading for Rockies third baseman Ryan McMahon. And tonight, San Diego FC takes on Nashville FC. 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. pregame right here. You can listen to the match on San Diego Sports 760. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
All right, let's try this one more time. We'll go to the phones. And again, the number is 877-767-4760. By the way, we do have giveaways today. We have a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa. We have a 4-pack of tickets to see Creed. So be listening for your chance to win those 4 packs of tickets. But let's go back to line 1 and Dave, 877-767-4760. And Dave, you're back on with John and Jim.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate the technical work over here from the board there. It got a little bit dicey, but we're back.
We're back.
And thanks for having me. Hey, just a couple things. Obviously AJ's been given some figures that we're not privy to. And I think that whatever those figures are, that's how this thing's going to roll. Obviously, we're not going to know. No one's going to tell us. But, for all of the, finger gnashing that we're doing on all of this, I just get this feeling that it's for naught because, again, they know what they're going to do financially or what they have to do financially. And I think that dictates as much as anything else, whether it's, you call it team need or what. One thing I wanted to ask you, Eric Hosmer comes off the books this year. That's $13 million that they're going to have the beginning of next year to play with. And I'm wondering if that would not have some positive effect on this whole process, knowing that they've got 13 million more coming. And I don't know if there's any other money coming off the books next year as well, but certainly the Hosmer infusion of new money coming or available money has to help, I would think. What do you think?
Dave, appreciate it. I mean, they'll have a lot of money. I mean, think of it. King, Cecil Rise, Hosmer. What does that even add up to alone? I mean, that's a
Potentially Suarez.
Yeah, I mean, could do the rough math. Hosmer like 13.
Yep.
King, AAV wise,
AAV was the base was only 1, but I think it was like 13.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no, it was like 7 or 8. I think it was.
All right, let's say 8. Okay, 13 and 8, 21. Cease 14 a year.
Sure.
I think that's 35 total. Arise 14 a year. We just looked it up. That's 49 total. You just said Suarez 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Owed. So rough math is 60 million tied up in those 5 players.
Now remember, well,
you got backfill
with Nick Pivetta. His base is only 2.5 this year, but his AAV is what? So he's making 22 next year.
It was 4 for 55 is what the AAV is based on.
So
yeah, 12, 13, 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, you're adding about $20 million to your just actual payroll next year because of the pay increase to Nick Pivetta.
Well, you bring up a good point. That's a whole nother conversation. Sometimes we're talking AAV, sometimes we're talking payroll. You're right. But the payroll thing is that, for example, like the Machado deal, it goes up. It's about to go way up.
Same thing with Tatis.
Now that's 2029. It goes to 36 million a year. And the same thing with Machado. I think in 2027 it goes way up.
35 or 37.
Yeah, 35. Exactly. So yeah, that's all points that need to be considered. But I do think like in this extreme short term, like into 2026, there's some money freed up. But now you don't have Dylan Cease and Michael King and like all these. You just got to backfill also.
And they are just over the second luxury tax threshold in baseball.
Correct. Which isn't set, by the way, until the end of the year.
So they have time to get below that.
They could go below the second. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that if you were to ask Eric Grupner and John Seidler, who has not, said a word this year other than to Kevin Acee in a controlled setting, My guess is they would like to keep that number as low as they possibly could get it.
You make it. Darnay brought that up. It's such a good point that since Peter's passing, which would have been close to 2 years ago, 2 falls ago.
No, it was in November of 2023.
So that isn't yet 24 months, but 20 months or whatever it is. Ownership since that moment has spoken publicly when Eric Katsenda spoke in spring training of 2024, and then John Seidler spoke on television, are you saying, or when he spoke?
Well, John Seidler sat down with Kevin at
Yeah.
the Peoria Sports Complex in a controlled setting.
So are you counting that as one of the two?
Yeah, because I'm not
Okay.
going to count him on TV with Don and Mud.
Well, I would almost just say one then, because in terms of a scrum where people could ask questions,
Yeah, I'll
could
try.
ask questions. It's only happened one time, and that would have been Eric Katsenda in March or February of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, good for Kevin on getting that exclusive.
It's true.
But has anybody else in the media in this town talked to John Seidler?
Forget about the town. Has Jeff Passan spoken with him publicly? Has Ken Rosenthal? Has anyone written anything? Here's my question.
Jeff Passan doesn't really speak to
True, but
the owners.
Well, but hear me out. I mean, is this a fair question? This isn't to be critical, but I think it's a fair question. You have to ask yourself, if they're not putting the owner in front of the media, why is the reason? And I have my theory. What's your theory?
That 1, he's not media trained. 2, he doesn't really want to do this. 3, what else you
What am I
got?
gonna say?
He just doesn't.
He's not a baseball guy.
He doesn't know baseball.
And when
He's a big
when you're
fan,
not
John. Remember that? They said he's a huge
I
baseball
know,
fan.
So is there's other people that are huge fans. So is my son. But the intricacies go beyond being a huge fan when you're running the operation. And when you're in front of the media and people want to know about, hey, would you like to extend Michael King on favorable terms? You're like, I like cat. Like there's a lot going in.
Well,
There's a lot going into that.
To play the other side of this,
Right.
if the team, what happened? Okay, if the team wins, do we really need to hear from the owner at all?
Yeah, you do. Yes. People liked hearing from Peter Seidler and the team was winning. Yes.
But John's not Peter. He's not going to be like
we don't
Peter.
even know. I don't even know. I couldn't spot him. I mean, I could.
You could now.
Not now, but
John's, from the very little that he has spoken to the media and on television, not really like this media savvy guy.
correct.
Not really a guy that I think the organization wants to put out in front of the public. I don't think he's a guy that, would do well in a situation that's unscripted and, being asking questions. I think,
Right.
fast on his feet from questions from the very tough media here in San Diego.
Yeah, but you know what happens then when you don't speak to the media and you don't do it for 2 years? You know what happens? You go down all sorts of paths when this is your job, like ours. Because when someone's on the record, like here's an example: AJ Preller's on the record with MLB Network Radio saying we want to add a bat or two. I'll take him at his word.
But
He said it.
All right, so what do you want to hear from John right now?
What's their payroll?
Well, he's never going to say that.
Are they willing to stay over the second CBT threshold? Because without knowing any of that, we are often a deep end, willing to go anywhere we want. Peter Seidler would be on radio commenting on his club often.
He wouldn't flat out say, this is our payroll, this is what we're going to do. He would say, we are going to do what's necessary to win a championship.
He
And
said,
that's
I'm
kind
not
of,
scared to spend $500 million on it.
I know, I get it. But he never said, this is our budget.
No, but the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, he was going to go out and do damn near almost anything to win a
Exactly.
championship. That's what he said.
Well, what is John Seidler's thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think it's the same, John.
I mean, I saw the letter that he penned, when he took over. We want to fulfill Peter's vision of bringing a championship to the city of San Diego. But I mean, it goes beyond a penned letter from 12 months ago.
I think it's more pertinent to hear from a owner of a team during a crisis more than right at the trade deadline. Like
or just one time though.
Well, I just think that's very wishful thinking.
No, we
on
asked.
John's-
Kevin told us.
I know, and he's not going to speak.
Remember, it was within 30. Once he assumes ownership, there's going to be this 30-day window, but then he's going to speak.
Yeah, he didn't speak. He wrote a letter because like we all know, he's not good with the media. He's not good in a public facing fashion.
I need to watch that TV interview back.
You don't, because you'll fall asleep. It's not a good interview.
Was there any like baseball talk, or was that because I don't even remember? Was it like, hey, how about the ballpark?
It was like, oh, you should stop this right now. Stop right now. This is not going well. Don and Mud did their best.
Yeah.
But John is, you know, that's just, let's just say not great.
But would you agree though? And this isn't a
Not his
knock.
fault.
You could be a great owner and not be a baseball guy. Like there are different jobs. You have people that work for you. It's AJ Preller's job to fulfill the baseball responsibilities under the supervision of an ownership group. But do you tend to go down the path that he doesn't necessarily have all of the baseball? Like, is he a baseball guy to you based on everything that we know? Or is he just kind of assume this position?
We know that he did not want this position.
Right.
He did not want to do this. But he's doing it. And he is a baseball fan, grew up a Dodger fan, was a Dodger fan until they purchased the team back in the early 2010s.
What was the quote? Like, it was tough to initially.
It was tough to root for the Padres against the Dodgers. Yeah. That was a great first quote. I still can't believe that. Everyone's like, oh, it's fine. Who cares about it? I'm like, are you serious right now?
I know.
Anyway, I'm not sitting here saying that your owner needs to know about this particular sport that they own, right?
I agree.
All I care about is, are you writing the checks that are needed from AJ Preller? That AJ Preller is going to you and saying, hey, I need this. And are you going to write that check for AJ or not?
Do you have the deep pockets?
Exactly.
Are you willing to keep going further and further?
I'd much rather have just a silent owner that just writes the checks than an owner that tries to get involved in every little thing inside the organization like possible.
Right. And the question is, like, what type of owner will he be? He's made they've made moves under him. The extension of Jackson Merrill's a significant extension. Mm-hmm. The Nick Pivetta deal came after John Seidler took over. They paid him good money, not crazy money. So, he's been committed enough in these first few months.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about hearing from John every month like we heard from Peter. Like Peter was very accessible. He would talk a lot. He was on this station a lot with Marty a lot. I'm okay if I don't hear from the owner. But when things, when times are tough, then you're going to need to speak. And I don't think he's even close to ready, prepared, or ready to speak in the moments of times are tough, so we need to hear from the owner. But again, we're not there yet. I'm just saying there
may come a time though when the owner of the team is going to have to speak publicly on the topic.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to speak.
Like kind of a prerequisite. All right, Padres and Cardinals coming up at 4:15. We've got 2 giveaways here today. We're here until 6. We're getting you ready for both the second game of this 4-game series and the upcoming trade deadline. Stay with us, John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa. Friday, August 8th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Coming up later in the show, a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Creed. That'll be August 6th, also at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. So stay tuned for your chance to win those prizes coming up between now and 6 p.m. Padres and Cardinals will play game 2 coming up in about 30 minutes. We mentioned this earlier. Nick Pivetta has been the true ace of this staff. What a savvy signing by AJ Preller. 3.6 WAR, Jim. 2.81 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
Just an amazing year. 20 starts for Nick Pivetta, sub-1 WHIP, which is absurd for any starting pitcher. And he's filled this role a lot. Kevin wrote about this today. Padres have been awful in St. Louis historically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you are asking Nick Pivetta. Yeah, I mean, you really need him tonight. I can only imagine what we'll say on the wrap-up show if the Padres don't win tonight. Like this to me is a huge game. You're staring down the barrel of a 4-game losing streak for the first time in forever. You have Nick Pivetta on the mound. I'm not saying it's a must-win because it's not, but man, it's going to feel like a must-win if they don't win.
Not only has Nick Pivetta had a great season for the Padres, he's one of the best pitchers in the National League. You know, he's going to get Cy Young votes if he continues to pitch like this. Right now, he's got the 6th best ERA in the National League. I mean, what? He has been fantastic. Today is absolutely win day for this Padres team. Lose tonight, that's 4 in a row. You lost with your ace on the mound, and you would have lost to a guy with a 5.2 ERA.
Right.
For the Cardinals. So tonight's win day for the Padres. Absolutely. And this little 3-game losing streak, going to the weekend, split over the weekend, take a 2-2 trip in St. Louis and come home with a 5-5 road trip, and you're 8 games over 500.
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness for that signing. The good news with Pivetta, because we're talking about now and we're talking about 2026, is Preller with his deals. I don't even understand half these deals. I just remember in my head that he's here for 2 years. I think he's guaranteed to be here for the 2nd year in that deal.
Yes, his base salary goes up. We talked about this earlier. It's 2.5 this year, and it's like 22 next year.
Right. So he's guaranteed to be here through 2026, and that feels pretty important to me. With we keep talking about Cease and King, Jim potentially being out the door at the end of the year. That seems pretty likely or possible. Cease and King. Add in Yu Darvish as at least a possibility as a retirement potentially coming off this year. That remains to be seen. And then Joe Musgrove in 2026 didn't pitch in 2025. Mm-hmm. So now everything's being built around Nick Pivetta, where to start the year,
crazy.
It was like Nick Pivetta was that
4th starter.
Yeah, like that extra piece you had to have. And you fast forward a year, not even a year. Mm-hmm. We get past the trade deadline. If they trade Dylan Cease, you're like, this is Nick Pivetta's team. Like wherever Nick Pivetta leads this team, they're going to go as far as Nick Pivetta.
It's crazy to think about, but you're absolutely right.
Right?
Where would they be without Nick Pivetta?
And that's not cliche. Like where would they be?
He has been one of the best signings in all of baseball. Like no question about it.
No question.
So for all the things I see on social media about AJ Preller, you got to give AJ Preller credit for that one, because that felt like an 11th hour deal after the Roki Sasaki news dropped. He was going to the Dodgers, and it's like, what are the Padres going to do with this rotation? And then out of the blue, as I'm driving home one night, it's like, oh, by the way, they signed Nick Pivetta.
That's interesting.
Like, okay. For a 4 ERA in his career. Last year, he had a 4 ERA. It's a nice pitcher to be your 4 starter. Oh, by the way, he's going to be your ace this year, by the way. Like, what?
Yeah, and I'm looking at it now. Alden Gonzalez at ESPN. The night of February 12th. Like, this is not early in the offseason. We're talking about this from October.
Did pitchers and catchers report already?
That's what I was going to say. It's like right then. Yeah, maybe.
When was the Super Bowl? It was
exactly. It's like the day after the Super Bowl is when pitchers and catchers reported. Super Bowl might have been...
I think it was that day. Super Bowl was on the 9th.
So you're probably right. Pitchers and catchers.
I think pitchers and catchers reported that day.
Like that's how. And by the way, the premise of the article from Alden Gonzalez is Padres' quiet offseason finally made a move. Like we had waited 4 months. They're coming off that Game 5 loss to the Dodgers. Everyone's making moves around them. The disappointment of Roki Sasaki. I was watching her Instagram post yesterday. Just scrolling through, trying to find something. I mean, there was so much disappointment with the Roki Sasaki, how it turned out.
Here included.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we did say in real time, and now it looks to be completely true that you might be better off in the short term with Nick Pivetta. And we said that without knowing Nick Pivetta was going to have a good year. We said Roki Sasaki's a work in progress. His future might be amazing. We might be talking about Roki Sasaki in 3 years. Like, dude, this guy's been a Cy Young favorite back-to-back years, but that's 3 years from now. So we don't know that. The thing with Pivetta is Padres needed him now more than they needed Roki Sasaki, even if Roki Sasaki was healthy.
And at the time of the Roki news, followed by the Pivetta news, we said over the long term, as you just mentioned, long term, Roki might be the better pitcher. Like the upside on Roki long term is better than Nick Pivetta long term, potentially.
Yeah, you're right.
So like in 3-4 years, it's like, oh man, that guy's a Cy Young Award winner, or at least like he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, potentially. But for what the team needed this year, who could help the most this year, it was no doubt it was Nick Pivetta. And we said that. Nick Pivetta was the guy in the here and now that could help the team more than Roki Sasaki in the here and now. Roki was the long play. Nick Pivetta was the, we need somebody who can help this team right now. And not only has he helped this team, he's, well, should have been an all-star, but he wasn't because he pitched on Sunday. So there wouldn't have been a reason to put him on the team just to replace him again. He's been their best pitcher, should have been an all-star. He's going to get Cy Young votes this year.
I agree.
That's been for a guy that's only making $2.5 million this year for base salary. Like that's an incredible year.
Prior to that move, the moves the Padres made in the offseason were Elias Diaz, who technically was bringing back.
Yeah.
Connor Joe, $1 million deal.
How'd that
Jason
work out?
Hayward, $1 million
Worked
deal.
out great.
That was their offseason.
I know. And then Nick Pivetta.
And now you want to know why they want to trade Dylan Cease? They didn't spend any money. If you think about it, that remains a constant here. They have not spent much when it comes to AAV or payroll over the last year. All right, we're going to get to the wrap on the other side. We're here until 6 p.m. We have great giveaways, including a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa. We'll do that in the 4 o'clock hour. Hour 3 of John and Jim on San Diego Sports. 760 live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. We'll start with the Padres, game 2 of their 4-game series. 4:15 first pitch in St. Louis. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Yankees made a trade today. They traded for Rockies third baseman Ryan McMahon, and San Diego FC takes on Nashville FC tonight, 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. pregame. Listen to the match right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radio is our instant push to talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage, no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
It's John and Jim to warm up that drive home.
They've gotten great production from the Ryan Bergers and Stephen Kolix. I guess you'll be relying more heavily on that type of player. I understand it, but I think it's fair to have some skepticism considering Darvish and King.
I agree that there's no easy way to go about this in the trade deadline for them. Every scenario that's being thought of, the creativity part of it, which you've said, it's not really creativity. It's like we don't have another option.
Now, time for John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. We've got Sammy in for Brent. We'll have Marshall in for Sammy. See, we have depth.
That's what we're known for.
Padres
here
have
at San
Trent
Diego Sports
Brooks.
760.
Yeah, we have depth here at the station.
Padres have Bryce Johnson.
and Tyler Wade.
All right. So this hour, by the way, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa coming up at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater Friday, August 8th. So that's this hour. Next hour, we'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to see Creed. Oh, by the way, SDFC tonight, a Friday night, a rare Friday night match down at Snapdragon Stadium. You can hear it all right here on San Diego Sports 760.
Mm-hmm.
Important match.
Very important match. It's the best team in the West versus one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. So good matchup tonight. And just a reminder, if you're going to the match and you're going to Fan Fest, because they have a Fan Fest before the match tonight, you can check out the San Diego Sports 760 booth. There's a QR code set up there. If you scan the QR code and put all your information in, you're entered to win a team signed SDFC jersey.
Now, is that going to be given away today, or is that something over the course of the season that will be given away?
No, John's a good question. I don't know.
I was curious.
It's not like our show's giving it away. So if our show, I would know, but it was like a station thing. So yeah.
Okay. So that'll be given away. Again, get to the SDFC match and find our tent. Now, will you be down there or no?
That'd be a no.
You're not signing?
I am not signing. No.
Okay.
Signing?
Yeah, autograph.
Oh, no.
Weren't you down at the facility 2 days ago, Jim?
I was at the facility. Yes, I've been there multiple
Thanks
times.
for the
this
invite.
Season. Do you want to talk about invites?
Yeah.
We can talk about invites. How many times have you gone to Aztec practice this week?
San Diego State basketball practice for, I think, 4 consecutive days.
Thanks for the invite.
3 of the last 4.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
You can come anytime.
You can come anytime to SDFC's training camp too, or training facility too.
Yeah, you're right. How about this? You go to SDFC training facility. I'll go to the Jam Center, and we're covering both bases.
Or you could go to SDFC's training facility, and I could go to the Jam Center so I could see what the Aztecs are doing, and you can see what SDFC is doing.
Yeah, but that's a good idea. All right,
but you don't want to do it.
Let's get to it.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
All right, boys. Can you Darvish be fixed after last night's abysmal performance?
Abysmal.
It was abysmal. He's right.
8 hits, 8 earned runs.
I know
it's hard to allow more than 8.
It was bad. It was bad. It's a very bad outing. And he even said so. He's like, this is bad.
He said, I need to be better.
Yeah, of course he can be fixed. But the question is, like, will he pitch better? I don't think there's, like, necessarily anything wrong with him. I just think that he's just not pitching well. And he's just maybe washed. I don't know. Like, like.
Well, that means he can't really be fixed. If he's washed, you don't want a bottom 6 starter.
We'll see. Again, I'm gonna give him at least another start.
Yeah.
At home in 5 days. If he pitches well, I'm not looking for like 7 shutout innings. But if he goes like 5 and gives up 2 runs and strikes out 4 and walks 1, is that good enough for you? I think that's good enough. Just to see, okay, there's progression and you can continue to pitch better off of that start. But if he goes out against the Mets and goes like 3 1/3 and gives up 4 runs and walks 3 and strikes out 4, then Houston, we have a problem.
I mean, his 1.8 whip isn't encouraging in 4 starts, 2 base runners per inning against Yu Darvish this year. But can he be? He's not going to be the guy we saw last year. I am confident in saying that. He can be better than this. You better believe it. You better be better than a 9.18. But is he going to have a 3.31 ERA over a 16 start stretch? The answer is no. Is he going to go 7 innings at Dodger Stadium in Game 5 of a playoff series, allowing just 2 runs?
Of course.
No chance. I don't see it. But he can be better than this.
Yes.
Next question.
All right, carrying on the tradition of Brent Sperry, is tonight a must-win game for SDFC?
Yeah, if they lose tonight, the season's over pretty much.
Now, they're in a 3-game homestand, right? They only have 1 point out of it.
Right. They've struggled to score goals on this homestand. Also, missing 3 key players of your team.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Pretty much this entire week in Yepe Treveskov, Anders Dreyer, and Chucky Lozano. Like, how's that going to factor into tonight's match as well?
Mm-hmm.
Not Chucky, but Mike Ybarra said that, they would be back and they would be here. Are they in the starting lineup?
Right.
Coming off the
Fully
bench?
available, right.
Like, and I know he was not happy about the fact that the MLS All-Star game was during the week before a match on a Friday night. So not a must-win match, but it's nice to go up against one of the best teams in MLS, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and see what you got.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity, that's for sure. And again, they've been good at home. They just have struggled here, to your point, to score goals their last 2 matches. We'll see if they can return to form, so to speak, against Nashville SC coming up tonight. You can hear the match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Next question.
What is the percentage chance that Dylan Cease gets traded before next Thursday?
Last night I said there was a 100% chance he gets traded.
I was like, that's kind of strong.
I was like, what was the question? It was along the lines of, it's the same one.
Yeah.
It was like, percentage chance that Dylan Cease is a Padre.
He's like 0.
I'm like 0%.
I'm like, wait, 0?
Okay, I'll go up. I think after this morning's trade rumor, I do think he's the likeliest to get traded.
All right.
I'll say 65% chance he gets traded.
Oh, man, you dropped from 100 to 65. Okay, and I'll actually go from, I said there's a 49% chance he's traded last night. So more likely than not, he'd stay. I will now move it to 51 the other way. More likely than not, he's dealt. But that means I could be convinced either way easily. And also, to trade Dylan Cease, you better get what you want, even if it's a rental. You don't just move him. I've got to get rid of him. Just move him, whatever.
Hey, New York.
Just take him.
We'll take a bag of chips.
Take him off our hands. No, he has value. So you move him if you can get the return you're looking for. Next question.
John, you wrote this. Is this right on the rundown?
Yes, this is right.
Okay. All right. Who wins more games this season? The Rockies or the Los Angeles Lakers?
Right. So the Lakers for 2025-26. Rockies right now have how many wins?
26 wins.
Now still 60 games.
Yeah.
They've actually played a little better.
Yeah.
So what could they get to in the next 60? 20 and 40?
They can get to what was their White Sox record last year?
Oh, so bad, dude. But they're worse. They're on a worse pace, I think. Let's look that up. These teams are so bad.
Sox 2024 record.
41 and 121.
They're 41 and 121. Oh my gosh.
How bad is that?
With that being said, easily the Rockies. Lakers are not going to have a good season.
Oh, wait.
I just did that.
Hilarious.
I did that to see Sammy's face.
Well,
No, it's going to be
to 44.
No, it's going to be the Lakers. It's going to be
how many games are the Lakers going to win? That's what I'm asking.
I would say in the high 40s, low 50s.
Okay. Sammy, would you agree? High 40s.
So they hit the
50s?
over in Vegas because it's at 45.5 right now for the Lakers.
Okay, I say 47 wins for the Lakers next year, 43 wins this year for the Rockies.
So kind of close.
Kind of close.
Rockies in their last 10 are 5-5.
Ooh.
So the point is that they could win 25 games. Maybe that's a stretch. And they'd have 50 plus wins. That's why I was trying to base it off that. But yeah, I could be convinced it's the Lakers winning more than the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies are 26 and 76. That is so awful.
It's really bad.
About like the Padres, they've lost 3 straight. Like Padres are 7 games over 500.
It was so funny when we were in Vegas. What was the station next to us? from Denver?
I don't remember the station name, but yeah, there was a station from Denver.
So from Denver, during one of their segments in the show,
Oh yeah,
he was talking about the Rockies.
it's like an hour on it.
I was
What
like,
are you talking about?
How are you talking about Colorado right now? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, especially being in Denver, I wouldn't even mention the Rockies.
He did say though, because we talked to him afterwards, and he's like, "Look, people actually do like the worst team in the sport. Like if you're gonna, it's either be the worst team or the best team.
You don't want to be in the middle.
Being in the middle, it's the same thing every day.
You're memorable.
You're memorable. Yeah. It's true.
Like, hey, can the Rockies get this record of the worst team in the sport, in the history of the sport?
I mean, what today you said McMahon was traded, right?
Yeah.
Someone just mentioned in the chat, like, hey, you play him 7 times in September. You can't be worried about that. So they're 5-5 in their last 10. You don't get worse than this. You don't get worse than what they've produced to this point. So I'm glad that the Padres still have them. And I know that the Rockies will probably still move another 3 parts. They should.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take advantage of the Rockies when you see them. I don't care if they're 5-5 in their last 10 coming into your series. You got to be taking advantage of the series against the Colorado Rockies.
That's why you can't just be like, oh, season's over for the Padres.
No, of course not.
Because they play the Rockies 7 more times. They play the White Sox 3 times. They play the Orioles 3 times. So that's 13 games right there.
Those teams suck.
Against awful teams. And then Arizona is selling. You end the season against the Diamondbacks.
Right.
You might, I don't know if Milwaukee and the Cubs are probably going to be competing against each other for the Central for maybe their whole season.
Or at least a seeding possibility.
Seeding possibility for sure, because you play Milwaukee and Arizona for the final 6 games of the year.
Right.
Yeah. You can turn that all the way down, Sammy.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
I heard it. Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
But that's why you have to sit here and look, okay, there's a path here. They just get through August.
You're right.
There's so many opportunities for them, and they play well against bad teams. So that's probably what AJ's looking at, is like, our September sets up for us really well. And we got to make sure we got to get to September in a good spot. Because if we do, then man, that opportunity is just on a silver platter for us.
I mean, the Rockies have a 255 winning percentage. You heard me right. 255.
Is that good?
The White Sox have a 359 and the Orioles have a 441. You just play them to those percentages and you're going 9-4 in those 13 games.
Yep.
And that's huge for the Padres.
And if you just went like
500 everywhere else,
or just a couple games over in August.
Yeah.
So that's 8 more. You're looking at like 17.
120 games over 500.
347 games over 500. You're pretty good.
You're like with Darnett, you're like, they can lose out. They still be 57-42. We're like, no.
No, I didn't say that.
It's like 57-45 or something.
No, I said if they lost 5 in a row, they'd be 55 and
30.
I meant to say 52. And that was right.
They'd still be over 500.
That's
you're
what,
saying if they got to
basically,
the
yes.
deadline losing all these games, they'd still be over 500.
Shouldn't do math.
You really shouldn't.
I just stop me if I ever try to do that. Okay.
Okay. Deal. It's like every second.
I know.
All right. We're going to hand the baton over to Marshall on the other side. Sammy, thank you, my friend, for
thank you, buddy.
sticking around.
Guys, you're the best.
Well, you probably could have been doing something else with your time.
No, I'm just going to go podcast the show.
Okay.
Friday night, we'll see what happens.
All right. So we'll have Marshall with us on the other side. We've got a giveaway for you coming up this hour. We're going to 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa Friday, August 8th here in San Diego. Plus, we'll update you on the deadline and the Padres, the Cardinals. Stay with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live in the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for our friends over at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Get there on Monday night. You've got a chance to win huge 10 winners every hour, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Your odds better than ever. Onyx players receive an extra $100 cash bonus on top of their winnings. Plus, earn entries all month long by playing. Get 2 times the entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 cash for all winners and a chance to win up to $50,000 in the big deal game. It's a promotion you're not going to want to miss.
And this Sunday and every Sunday, enjoy lobster brunch at Prime Cut. Indulge in a decadent brunch at Prime Cut featuring lobster tails and hand-carved prime rib served every Sunday from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It's the perfect way to treat yourself to a Sunday well spent.
Also, the final Thursday of the month, July 31st, $50,000 cash blitz drawings. You can take home your share of $50,000, and you can do that again coming up Thursday, July 31st at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, San Diego FC back tonight. They'll take on Nashville. Snapdragon Stadium. You can hear the match live tonight starting at 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760, your home for SDFC. So we've got that coming up tonight. We have Padres and Cardinals game 2. Jim and I will have a wrap-up show for you tonight. We spent an hour with Darnay Tripp yesterday.
We spent an hour with him and then another hour on the wrap-up show from 8. I didn't move, by the way. I didn't move in my office. I went from 8:30. I didn't get up from 8:30 to 10:30 when we finished.
And it was hot. I got up, I think, because I got a kombucha out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Which was warm because I put it in 1 minute earlier. And then also, do you know that is your place warm by and large? Like,
yeah, it gets warm. I don't have AC, man.
That's right. Either do I. But I was just sitting there. I'm like, I'm just hot. That second show we did, the wrap-up show, I'm like, can we? It's just a lot. When you do 7 hours on the same topic, because we have 4 hours here, an hour with Darnay, an hour with you and I.
Yep.
And the other thing that we've both said this both on air and off air, we both love the trade deadline. And then the trade deadline gets here. We're like, we hate the trade deadline.
Hate it.
Because we love when there's movement. I love reacting to that.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's why I love reacting to games once they're over. Like, I like the wrap-up show. It's like, you can react. Like, Luis Suarez is great. Or how could he not come through there? But when nothing happens and you're just waiting, it's like that meme, like the do something. The do something meme. And the thing is, he will do something.
Yeah, he will.
So it's like, you can't tell someone to do something when you know they're going to do something.
he could do something in the second inning of this game. He's done it before.
I know.
When he traded for Luis Ariz, it was
know.
right before first pitch of a game last year.
You're right. You're right.
So he can do something at any moment.
Yeah.
I just would prefer if he doesn't do anything.
Saturday,
Preferably tomorrow night from like 6 to 10 p.m.
I'm the same way because I think I'm picking up Kristen from the airport and you've got dinner. Listen, if something happens from 6 to 10 p.m. Tomorrow, sorry.
Also, I'm visiting family on Sunday. So like in the afternoon, don't do anything in the afternoon.
We need to like send him a list of our availability.
Right. And also we're going to a card show tomorrow. So also not, and nothing in the morning.
Yeah, not tomorrow morning.
So basically either tonight or Sunday night. That's it.
If
AJ.
he gets in the way of the card show, if he trades for
a problem,
like what's the biggest move he could make based on the names that we've heard out there?
Well, he trades Dylan Cease and then he acquires Jaron Duran
and Sandy
Alcantara.
Then I'm sorry, we have to. I mean, we're gonna have to do something
from the card show, live from the card show.
He knows not to do it Saturday.
He knows
people have lives, right?
He does not have a life though.
He doesn't.
No, nor does he care about anybody's life.
But man, it's again every year it's the same thing. I'm trying to think if there's another comparison over the course of the year for what you and I do. It's like every year I get excited for this because I know we're always heading for like this is a moment of the baseball season that's exciting. Like trade deadline.
Well, for the Padres, if you're like the Pirates, not that exciting.
Rockies.
If you're the Marlins. Well, you know what I mean.
It's never fun to be the team that only sells off pieces.
There's certain teams where it's not fun.
No, it's not. Like if you're right, if the Padres were. If this was 20 years ago, for example, maybe that's not a perfect example, but 15 years ago, like you don't want to be the team that's getting rid of Manny Machado at a trade deadline. It's a bad example because of his contract, but you don't want to be the team losing your star. And thankfully, that really hasn't been who the Padres have been under Preller here in recent years. Although they have traded stars, man, they traded Juan Soto.
Yep,
traded for him, they traded him away.
Yeah,
So,
by the way,
what the point is.
It is Hall of Fame week. The Hall of Fame is on Sunday, John. Ichiro.
That's a class.
And I feel like there's one more.
Yeah, let's see.
I know Ichiro's the headliner.
It will be Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner.
There we go.
But Ichiro is an all-timer.
It's a good class. Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner getting in. What they're doing this weekend is they're having Hall of Fame weekend hats. So every team in baseball is wearing like a retro hat with a Hall of Fame patch on the side. Now, for the last however many years, baseball in new era, their hats for certain like parts of the year, like 4th of July or whatever else, like whatever they're doing, are awful.
They've been bad.
Some of the hats that they do are so bad.
Yes.
I have to give them credit. These Hall of Fame weekend hats, we were just looking at this during the break.
Looked at every team. Every single team's hat's awesome.
They're really well done. They are not, like some random colors. I believe that all these hats are going to match too.
Like match the uniform that the teams are wearing?
I think so. Maybe not the Diamondbacks because the Diamondbacks are going the old purple A logo where they won the World Series back in
and they don't wear that
2001.
Uniform. Yeah.
But they do have, I think, a throwback to that.
The Serpentines.
Yes, they might do that, which would be pretty cool. But every one of these hats is like an old school hat that all these teams are going to wear. And I'm looking at these and I'm like, I kind of want one of these hats.
All cool. I completely agree. And listen, we're the first people to jump on and be like, what are they doing? Right.
I've had so many of these.
Remember
hats.
Players Weekend though? Even like, hey, there's an emoji on the back of the guy's box burger. It was a box emoji and then a
that was a good
emoji.
One though.
But but when you go classic, clean look and you're Major League Baseball, and we see it so rarely now because they get cute and outside the box with everything, you go classic and clean and put the Hall of Fame patch on the side. It looks awesome.
It's like what they did for the All-Star game. They went classic, clean. Everybody wears their jerseys. There's no, what is it?
No
advertiser, no sponsor patches on anybody's jersey. I like the hats. I know you didn't like the hats per se.
Did I not like them? What were the
hats? Thought the hats were too like
they were so
weird, boxy.
Yeah.
I thought they were fine.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked them.
The uniform, you're right. It looked way cleaner. Like these are small wins for baseball. I'm with you. MLB All-Star Game, the uniforms, that's a win. These hats for Hall of Fame weekend are a win. ABS in the All-Star Game was a win.
Yep.
Swing Off was a win.
And the Padres are wearing their old school Padres hat.
The SD is a different font and size.
This is from, I believe, the 80s, right?
It looks to me
It's
it
gotta
was
be,
like
right?
Dave Winfield, like
Yeah,
70s.
it's the Winfield 70s.
Yeah.
Padres 70s hats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know the
you're right.
exact year, but to
Yeah,
me, it
80.
looks like
You're
Dave
right. 80s
Winfield.
would, yes, they're 70s. Padres.
But it's clean. It's
70s
classic.
logo. They're all great.
Yeah.
Even
I
the
agree.
Cardinals tonight are wearing
Is it just the bird?
just the bird, old school, just the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is a good look in my opinion.
Seattle, Tampa. I mean, I'm just looking at all these. There's not one hat. Now, every hat's great.
Yeah. I agree.
Look at the Orioles hat, dude. The Orioles hat looks awesome.
Yeah,
with
the Oriole
the
birds are
bird.
good. Man, there's some Major League Baseball teams with some really good logos.
Logos, like if you just have a clean logo,
Yeah.
it makes a difference. Man.
I'm 100% with you. I'd buy all 30 of these. I don't know what I'd do with them, but I'd buy all 30.
Kristen would not like that.
Yeah, she'd be, and it will also cost me like $5,000.
Right, because I bet you one of
These
those
are
hats is
$60.
$60? Are they
Well, I
really?
have no idea. But I mean, couldn't you say 55?
Probably.
Or 50? I mean, 50 times 30 is what? $1,500 for all those. It's a lot of money.
How many cards you could buy with that?
It depends on the cards.
It's true, yeah.
All right, much more again on the deadline. And also, we're giving away tickets coming up. Why don't we do this? Later this hour, we're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We're not going to do it right now, but we'll give it away later this hour. That's Friday, August 8th. Next hour, a 4-pack of tickets to see Creed. We'll keep you updated on Padres and Cardinals. Much more here until 6 p.m. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres Cardinals underway in St. Louis. We're scoreless in the top of the second inning there. Yankees made a trade today. They traded for Rockies third baseman Ryan McMahon, and SDFC takes on Nashville FC tonight, 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. pregame. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio to get an extra 5% off.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Padres Cardinals underway. We mentioned this pitching matchup. Miles Mikolas, Nick Pivetta. And Jim touched on the fact that Mikolas has really struggled this year for the Cardinals. His career numbers, I think Kevin Acee had it today, maybe in his newsletter and something pregame. Mikolas against the Padres, surprise, has been very good in his career. And then again today, surprise, he's been very good through a couple of innings. But I completely agree with what you said earlier when it's win day, that, you know, these are the ones. If you don't win on a day like today behind Nick Pivetta, who are you turning to win behind? That's what all of a sudden has become the issue. You got guys out like King. You can't count on someone like Dylan Cease. You don't even know if he's going to be here the next time he's supposed to start. You Darvish, you can't count on right now. And Randy Vasquez has been a terrific story. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, he's not my stopper necessarily. So you just put like more of an emphasis on today because of how good Nick Pivetta has pitched and how poorly the Padres have played over the last 3 days.
Yeah, it feels, you know, when your ace is on the mound, especially later in the season, when we get to the second half sprint, those feel like must-win games for a team that's contending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like today's win day, guys. I'm sure the clubhouse feels that. I'm sure they know that. They know how good of a year Nick Pivetta is having. So they know that today's game is important and that anytime he pitches is important, you know? And I think for the most part, actually not for the most part, they have this year, without a doubt, done a great job when he's out there pitching.
Yeah.
As a team.
Yeah, completely.
So, you know, 10-2 on the year, that's his record. I don't know what the record of the team is with him on the mound, but it's a good record.
Got to be good. Yeah, I'll find that out.
And so they understand the assignment. They know the deal. They know the drill. It's not like Nick Pivetta has a year where he's got 280 ERA and, you know, the team is 4-15 in his 19 starts or something crazy.
What do you think the record is? He's made 20 starts. What is the team's record?
I'm going to go with 15-7. Well, no, sorry. I'm an idiot.
Work.
That wouldn't work. It's been a long freaking week.
Out of 20.
Just
tell me how many wins.
15-7. I'm just an idiot. It's 14 wins.
Okay, 14 wins. That'd be 6 losses. Close. 13-7.
Okay.
So, but that's awesome. That's a 650 winning percentage.
Such an idiot.
Like 15-9.
How many? I mean, 20 starts. What's his record? 15-7.
22-13. No, that's more than 20. Again, that's why I try the math games.
I told
with
you. Why are you doing math with me?
No, but you brought it up. You're like, I wonder what the record is. Like, hey, they're 10-2 in his star. He's 10-2, so the record must be good.
7.
I'm 13-7.
What am I doing?
A couple of things here that I wanted to share. I just had them in front of me. Where is this?
Is there about to fight in St. Louis?
Oh, who got hit? Wilson Contreras?
Yeah.
Oh my,
barking.
So interesting. So the first batter in the bottom of the second inning of a scoreless game was hit. By the way, he was just kind of hit in on the hands. I want to say I glanced up. Am I right in saying that? Was he hit by the hands?
Sure. Well, he was barking at Pivetta. Pavetta's like, dude, go to first base. What are we doing here?
So remember yesterday he homered.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He might have pimped it. I mean, it was the second home run of the inning. It was I think it was the second home run of the inning. We were on the air.
Yeah.
It's a 3-run shot, right? It was a bomb. So interesting. The benches have cleared.
A developing story in St. Louis.
In St. Louis. I mean, these teams haven't faced each other than one day game this year. Okay, everything seems to be okay, right?
Yeah, we'll see. But you know, now we have to, if you're Fernando Tatis Jr. or if you are, that might have been a little intentional there. I do wonder,
Oh, he said I'm not. Okay. Oh, interesting. So Pavetta took exception with Contreras looking at him, and then Contreras said, "I'm not looking at you." So watch the reaction because I'm curious here. Yes, he's kind of looking away, but Pavetta's staring him down. He says, "I'm not looking at you." Okay,
It's hard to it's hard to see that when you're doing on the radio.
Yeah.
But I look, it's win the game, dude.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, they're still barking.
Yeah.
They're still barking at each other.
Oh,
they gave a
warnings
warning?
issued.
They gave a warning.
Wow.
Because if you're Fernando, you're like, oh crap.
But now you're good. Now
Or if you're Manny, you're like, oh, here we go. But we'll see. Nick Pivetta is a fiery guy.
a bulldog.
He is a dog. He is not going to back down from anybody. He's the last guy that you want to mess with.
Interestingly, though, with warnings being issued, though, to your point, I guess then if you can't hit, like if you're St. Louis and you go out and hit Tatis, you're probably going to lose your starting pitcher. So
unless the game gets out of control and you got a random reliever in there.
Right.
Then if I'm short, I'm pulling my guys out.
Honestly, like this series has kind of been entertaining. Last night we saw all this offense. We saw all these home runs both ways. And now in game 2, like I was not expecting that. I'm like, it's like 100 degrees there. Like you said, Padres just need a win.
Was that on the first pitch?
It was I don't know if it was the first pitch or not. I think Marshall's going to rewind it and look.
It's fine. We don't have to rewind it.
I'm curious as well. It doesn't scream a spot to hit someone, does it, Jim? I mean, scoreless game.
No outs.
Leading. Oh, exactly. Like, does that scream the spot to go hit some guy?
No, I just think that's an overreaction by Wilson Contreras.
Which I get. Like, you get hit, by a fastball.
Well, here's the thing. It's not only you got hit on a fastball to start an inning, and the night before you hit a home run. So you might think in your head, like, oh, this
coming after me.
How many batters has Nick Pivetta hit this year?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Well, I can find that out for you. So
it's on the internet.
It's on the internet somewhere. Nick Pivetta has hit 2 batters all year long.
No, just in 20 starts.
2 batters.
And over 100 innings.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
He's hit only 3 in the last 2 years.
What, only 3?
He hit 1 last year, and then he's only hit 2 this year.
But again, it can happen. It still means that it happened earlier in the year.
Yeah, but if you're going to plunk a guy, that's how you plunk him. Right,
the fastball midsection.
Fastball right in the either go for the back or the rib area here, or he hit him on the elbow guard. By the way,
4-game series. We're gonna 4-game series. It'll be interesting to see what happens from here. So
it'll be interesting, that's for sure. I just hope that it doesn't take Pivetta out of this game, like mentally, because the most important thing is you got to pick up the win tonight.
Completely.
You can't have a 4-game losing streak. I mean, you can, but like you don't want a 4-game losing streak here. And it's win day. We spent the last 2 hours of this program saying that today's win day with Nick Pivetta on the mound.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's so funny because over the course of a season, you just get lost in it's like the ebb and the flow of a game. Like, you win a game, you lose a game. And I say this all the time. And then all of a sudden something happens. You don't really expect it. You know that things can happen over the course of any game or any season, but I wasn't necessarily expecting, like I said, in game 2 of the series, the benches to clear between the Cardinals and the Padres. It just wasn't on my bingo card for tonight because I was thinking about, hey, it's a trade deadline and hey, they need to snap a 3-game losing streak. But yeah, scoreless game in St. Louis in the 2nd inning. Going back to the deadline for a second, the first big move, was it yesterday, Jim, or was it multiple days ago now?
No, it was yesterday, Josh Naylor.
Okay, so the first big move was Josh Naylor. The second move today,
Ryan McMahon.
Was Ryan McMahon. There was a bullpen move right between the Orioles and the Mets.
Sure.
But whatever. But yeah, the second big move
names we actually know
was Ryan McMahon was.
But Josh Naylor to me is like,
that's
all right,
the biggest one.
Stove is lit now.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's
so game on, man. At any moment, it's not like, oh, it's too soon to make a trade or not, like. No, it can happen any moment now.
You think this signifies definitely Arizona's a full seller getting rid of Josh Naylor?
Yes, they are. They're looking to trade Eugenio Suarez. Yankees have been in on Suarez because they need a third baseman. He is, I mean, imagine him in New York. Oh my gosh.
Right.
So they're sellers. They could even move off Zach Gallen. Maybe more pieces. Who knows? And that's a good thing if you're the Padres, because that, in theory, eliminates one team behind you. We'll see if that truly does. But when a team sells, that's one of those things where you're like, okay, good. You're behind us and you sell. What just happened?
This is fascinating to me. Well, if not for whoever the 7-hole hitter is for the St. Louis Cardinals that fended off getting hit in the head by a fastball with his bat, he would have been hit in the head. Look at this.
Maybe his controller's off tonight.
Maybe not in the head.
Oh, it's foul ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a foul ball. Foul ball. No, that's fine. Foul ball.
It's all good. Yeah, he ended up fending it off, but otherwise would have been hit. So
he's fine.
All right, here's the deal. Call right now if you want a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa. We have a 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa Friday, August 8th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. If you want those tickets, call right now. The number to call is 877-767-4760. Caller 3. Those are your 4 tickets. Great giveaway. Free 4-pack of tickets to see Wiz Khalifa Friday, August 8th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Pick up your phone and call right now. 877-767-4760. What do you got, Marshall?
Are you guys going to be there at the Wiz Khalifa concert too?
I don't know if we'll be there that night or not. Will you be there?
Contemplating it.
Contemplating. Okay.
That will be a no for me, even though it would be fun to go to. But
call right now if you want those tickets. 877-767-4760. Stay with us. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We'll keep you updated on Padres and Cardinals. 1-0 Cardinals through 2 innings. A couple of things I wanted to share. All right, non-Padres related.
Okay.
So ESPN puts out a 100 storylines of the college basketball season as we continue the summer Aztec series. This is what they write about San Diego State.
They got
the Aztecs made the tournament last season, but lost by 27 to North Carolina in the first 4. We're expecting Brian Dutcher's team to stick around a little longer next March. Miles Bird is an NBA prospect. Reese Waters is back from injury, and Magoon Gwath is ready to take the next step. Transfer Sean Newman Jr. will be given the keys to the offense. So a blurb on the Aztecs in the season preview. And the takeaway is they expect San Diego State to make it further in 2026 than the Aztecs made it in 2025, which was to the first 4.
So what they mean is like Final Four?
I hope so, man.
National championship game again?
Man, wouldn't that be something? You got to get to practice because you get vibes when you have like a veteran group and you got 8 or 9 guys back.
All right, it's probably way too early to ask this question.
Ask it.
In your opinion, probably not the right person to ask, but what's the successful season for the Aztecs? Like,
no, I think it's the right person to ask.
What for you would be like, wow, that's a really good season?
Well, it's never further than a Sweet 16. You could never say, like, in order to call it a really successful season, you need to make like a Final Four and Elite 8. Because in the history, for example, the reason I say that, in Mountain West history, the league's been around since 1999. One team ever has gone further than the Sweet 16. So it was the Aztecs, right, 3 years ago. So I would say Sweet 16 is a remarkably successful year for any team basically in the country, right? Barring, I'm sure Kentucky fans want their team to
Florida
win a national championship every year. But you know what I mean? I mean, Sweet 16 is doing work. It's hard to get there. So I would say if you make the Sweet 16, you have reached all of your goals. Now, from that point on, you'd love to get another win or 2 and you dream bigger. But yeah, to me, you make a Sweet 16, you've had a remarkably successful season. So that to me, like you're shooting to get there if possible. What would you say?
I would say the same thing because you're not Gonzaga, where Gonzaga's made the Sweet 16 how many years in a row?
Don't know the answer. Did that finally end last year or not? Or did they make it? I thought it ended last year. They lost like a 1 seed, didn't they? How'd their season end?
They lost to Houston last year.
In the round of 32 or later?
I don't know.
Here, I'll tell you right now. Just looking at their Wikipedia for men's basketball. Yeah, I don't know either. But anyway, your point is they made all these Sweet 16s every single year?
Yeah. So for them, it's like, that's the standard. Like you get the Sweet 16 for Gonzaga, you're like, all right, we've reached where we've gotten to every year. Now we got to get over that hump. And if we don't get over that hump, and if we don't go past Sweet 16, can we say it's a good year because we've done it how many times in a row?
But that's literally an all-time college basketball record.
It is.
Whatever they did, right? It was some ridiculous streak.
9
straight. That is kind of crazy.
9 straight. They're tied with Duke
for the most ever.
For the most ever with 9. Duke did it from 98 to 06. Also, North Carolina did it from 85 to 93, and Gonzaga 2015 to present day.
Well, how about this? If the Aztecs do that, if they do that, they would have done it 3 out of 4 years.
Right. And that kind of goes to my point of like, it would become the new Aztec standard. And so when something's just like, oh, that's the standard, and you only meet that, is it then considered like, oh, it's a really, really good season if they continue to just meet their standard and not go over and above and beyond?
I mean, your point is an interesting one.
But we haven't reached that. We haven't reached that yet.
Exactly. I was going to say, like, if you're
we haven't reached that point. If San Diego State made 9 consecutive Sweet 16s,
then you'd of course be looking for them to make Elite 8s and Final Fours.
Right. And for most years, if a team makes a tournament and they make the round of 32 and they lose in the round of 32, that's still considered a really good season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if Gonzaga next year makes the round of 32 and they lose and they don't make a Sweet 16, their standard's different. That'll be considered a failure. It would be considered not a failure, but a disappointment.
Yeah.
Be considered a disappointing season. For a lot of teams, that's not how that would be. So like a standard, it matters. And when we're talking about expectations, like what's your standard? right now, San Diego State, the standard for them, making the NCAA tournament, right?
I think we're probably past that, though. I think we're win games in the NCAA tournament. And what that means is you're right. I mean, is it one game? Is it, 2 games? Whatever it is. But I think we're at the point, like last year, I think people thought that, they were hoping that they could win that first 4 game, right? I think we're at the point where you look at the last.
We still thought last year's season was a
I agree,
year.
but I also read the text line.
I know.
You know what I mean? Every single game. But what are we talking about again?
The expectation for this year's Aztec.
Here's what I know. If you polled 100 Aztec fans, 99 of them would tell you if they make the Sweet 16 next year, that's a good year.
Yeah.
Right? I think. Maybe not 99, but like 98 of them would tell you if you make the Sweet 16, that's a good year, would be my guess. So, yeah, my point is if they make the Sweet 16, I think it's a very good year. And is that realistic? Yeah, I think absolutely it's realistic. I mean, who knows how the season's going to play out, but I think it's realistic.
It is way too early to even.
Yeah. I mean, we have
to
no
know
idea
how good this team could be, or if this team isn't going to be as good as we all think. We just don't know yet.
Way too early. On the other side of San Diego State is football. They're going to have their preseason media day Monday. Sean Lewis will meet with the media on Monday, and then they will begin practice on Wednesday. And Wednesday is 4 weeks out, 4 weeks and 1 day out from their opener. So we talked to Sean Lewis, a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
Was it literally a week and a day?
Yeah, no, a week ago. Well, today's Friday.
Yeah, so on a Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
So we talked to him a week and a day ago. I'm really looking forward to it. I think you feel the same way. I mean, they have more expectations for this upcoming year. After going 3-9, obviously that's not what they're trying to replicate. They're trying to get to a bowl game in 2025. So I think there are, I don't know what the expectations are, but I think Aztecs fans expect this team to vie for a bowl game in 2025. I think that's probably the expectations.
Yeah, I think anything less than a bowl game, people will be disappointed.
Right.
And that's a tough thing for, coming off a 3 or 4 win season, 3 win season.
3 win. Yep.
So you're like, all right, you got to go from 3 wins to 6 wins.
That's a good point. When you only play 12 games.
Right. And so now you're asking this Aztec team to go from not good to kind of good.
I mean,
competitive.
Yes. Is it realistic? We were there for 2 days. I mean, we'll see. It's the same story. It's like it's too soon to really know. But I think going into a year with the players they're returning on defense, with a second-year coaching staff, with a veteran quarterback, and more stability on their offensive line, I do think it's completely fair to think that 6+ wins is realistic for San Diego State football. I do think that. Now, again,
I hope so. I really hope so, because the progression you want to see is like, all right, first year might not be expecting that much, but you want to see some flashes maybe here and there to get you excited going forward. Year number 2, all right, the foundation has been set, laid the groundwork. Now year 2, let's see what you can do. Get to a bowl game. Year 3, 4, 5. Now you're like, okay, we're gonna get to the point where we're competing for a conference championship.
Especially switching to a new league. It would be nice to take some of that momentum with you.
For sure.
On your way to the Pac-12 in 2026. All right, a final hour of John and Jim. We're going to give away Creed tickets coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. Updates from St. Louis. Plus, again, Jim's back page coming up next hour as well. We're here until 6 p.m. Hour 4 of John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. That's next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres and Cardinals underway in St. Louis. Cardinals lead the Padres 1-0 bottom of the third inning there. One trade in baseball today, and it involved the Yankees and the Rockies. Yankees traded for third baseman Ryan McMahon, and San Diego FC takes on Nashville FC tonight, 7:30 kickoff, 7 p.m. pregame. Listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off.
It's John and Jim to warm up that drive home.
They've gotten great production from the Ryan Bergers and the Stephen Koleks. I guess you'll be relying more heavily on that type of player. I understand it, but I think it's fair to have some skepticism considering Darvish and King.
I agree that there's no easy way to go about this at the trade deadline for them. Every scenario that's being thought of, the creativity part of it, which you've said, it's not really creativity. It's like we don't have another option.
Now, time for John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of John and Jim. We'll have updates from St. Louis. As the Padres and Cardinals are playing game 2, we'll have Jim's back page, and we'll be with you until 6 p.m. here tonight. What do you have? I have a non-MLB story to share, but what do you have?
What?
I thought you were about to say something.
No, I wasn't. I was just turning my mic on.
Turn your mic on. My non-Major League Baseball story comes out of the NFL, and it's like, what were you expecting, National Football League? Did you see the story that 100 players have been fined for selling their Super Bowl ticket allotments above face value?
Mm-hmm.
What were you expecting when you have the opportunity to buy Super Bowl tickets for face value? Do you know what all people are then going to do with those tickets when everyone knows that the price to get into a Super Bowl is 10-fold over face or 20-fold over face, and people spend $5,000 or $10,000 for tickets? So the NFL today puts their foot down. 100 players fined. Did you see what the fine is? So if the ticket costs you $1,000, you owe 1.5 times in fine. So $1,500 in fine. And now you can't buy Super Bowl tickets for each of the next 2 years. Fair, or is it like, isn't this what you would expect, NFL, by offering tickets at face?
I think this is what you would expect.
That's what I think.
Also, the Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in this country.
No doubt.
Every year. Super Bowl, the biggest. It will remain the biggest for
our lifetime, I think.
For our lifetime. It's only going to get bigger. It's not gonna, be like baseball's World Series where they had like 30 million viewers in the 80s and 90s, and now they can barely crack 10.
Right.
It will always reach 100+ million, maybe more, like every single year.
Mm-hmm.
You're pricing everybody out of this game.
Everyone.
It's become an event that is only for the wealthy, which, I mean, that's what our country is becoming. Is like, you can't go to these sporting events or concerts or whatever unless you got some cash.
Right.
So what do you expect when players are getting stuff for face? And it's like, well, I can make a bunch of money because I know this is like the most expensive ticket in the country for a sporting event. For any event, the Super Bowl is the highest ticket.
Yeah, maybe that's have like a World Cup final or something.
But that World Cup final doesn't happen every year, though.
You're right. You're 100% right. I mean, here's what I would say. And to your point, you bring up a really good point. Like, you've priced everyone out. And I get it. Okay, it's the biggest event in the world, or certainly in the country. So it's going to be hard to get tickets. But maybe as opposed to offering tickets to players for face, offer tickets to fans
for face.
Yeah, for face. Because you're right. It's hard to even have an opportunity to buy a ticket for face value. And then it's even harder to buy a ticket for above face on the secondary market because the prices are crazy. I mean, I don't know what the average price of Eagles Chiefs was, but it's in the thousands, with tickets going for $5,000 and $10,000, as opposed to, providing 1,000 tickets for your players. Maybe provide 1,000 more tickets for your fans. Because I'll tell you what, there's plenty of people in Philadelphia that would have loved to be there. There's plenty of people in Kansas City that would love to have the opportunity to be there for face value. And your NFL players make a lot more money than the average person living and working in Kansas City or Philadelphia. I promise you that.
According to TickPick,
Yeah.
the average ticket price of this past Super Bowl, I want you to guess.
Oh, I have absolutely no idea, so I'll do it. The average, it was face, Jim, or secondary market?
It just says the average ticket price.
I'm assuming that's secondary, and then that's where I'll go then higher with my.
All right. So StubHub is
secondary.
Secondary.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Anything other than from the NFL then becomes so. I'll say $3,900.
Double that.
What? 878 or 8 or something?
Yeah. The average price
How is that possible?
of a Super Bowl ticket was $8,000.76 in the final weeks leading up to this past year's Super Bowl. Before that, a couple weeks before, the average price was around $6,600.
What do you got, Marshall?
Average price last time Super Bowl was in San Diego, $275.
That's insane. I'm assuming that's face value
Probably.
in San Diego, but that is insane. And to Jim's point, I mean, how many people in this country, seriously, how many people, what percent can afford $8,000 on a ticket?
The 1%ers.
But I think we're even beyond the 1%ers at $8,000. Can 1 in 100 people actually do that?
The less than 1%ers.
Yes. And honestly, even if I had that kind of money, am I really going to take family of 4, $32,000, or am I going to buy a minivan? I mean, $32,000 to go to a football game is just incredible money. Incredible.
In Las Vegas, when they had the Super Bowl here in Las
just
Vegas.
a couple years ago.
So for the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
for a luxury suite,
Oh, that's going to be ridiculous.
$2.5 million. Like
For
what?
one
For
game. That was
one game.
actually, and this isn't a Niner knock. It was a great game. But sometimes
No, it
they're
wasn't.
not.
Game sucked.
But so look, use last year, it was 40-6 at one point, wasn't it? Or 40-8.
Yeah, like imagine
40-3.
Imagine if you're a Chiefs fan
Like, I'm going.
and the team has gone for 3 straight years and you're like, you know what? We haven't been the last 2.
We're going.
We want to see history. Let's go. Game's over at halftime.
Yeah, you're down 30 points in the second quarter.
Game's over at like halfway through the second quarter. You're like, what?
A, that's miserable. And then B, I've ruined my finances for the next like 2.5 years.
If you're not wealthy.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. The people that are there, you're right. It's corporate America. It's not. What sucks is you watch like the NFL on Sundays. You watch the NFL on Sundays. It's like, it's not all the rich and famous. Like the people going to Arrowhead, like they're using their, disposable income, so to speak, to see the Chiefs. They're not going away for a week during the year because they're taking their money and they're using it to see the Chiefs or they're using it to see the Eagles. But those people aren't going to the Super Bowl because you don't have $8,000. So listen, I understand the NFL being upset with its players and staff and saying, hey, we offered you something. Like this is a what's the word? Amenity. Like this is an amazing thing for you. You can buy a ticket for face value. Don't take advantage of that. The players make $1 million. Our fans aren't making $1 million a year. But I also understand it from the players' perspective. Is like these tickets go for $8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can make a lot of money by selling these tickets.
And honestly, if you were to ask me, 49ers fan,
Yep.
what would you rather go to? A Super Bowl or like an NFC title game?
Right, in your home stadium.
In your home stadium. I would probably choose the NFC title game.
Better experience.
Better experience. The fan experience would be way better. It's not a bunch of rich people that don't know football that are only there because it's a high priced event.
Wouldn't cost you $8,000.
Would not cost you $8,000. My buddy went to the NFC title game a couple years ago against the Lions. I think he paid like a couple $100.
Yeah, that's way more reasonable at least.
And so, yeah, if I had to choose, I would think I would choose a home NFC or AFC title game over the Super Bowl, even though the Super Bowl kind of feels like a bucket list item if you're a sports fan. Like, oh, I went to a Super Bowl. But if your team's in it, you're not surrounded by your fans. You're surrounded by a bunch of rich, snobby losers that don't know football. They're only there because they have a bunch of money and they want to be like taking photos and selfies and put them on their Instagram page.
The other thing with the Super Bowl is it's become this amazing television viewing event. People are with family and friends. The advertisements go for $8 million. The game has 100 cameras. Everything's in 8K. Mm-hmm. So it's not like by not being there, you're quote unquote missing out. You could actually argue by being there,
You're missing
you're
out.
missing out on some of that experience that 99.9% of Americans are doing, which is watching the game with family and friends.
Yeah, my favorite thing about, or one of my favorite things about the Super Bowl is, if my team's not in it. Because if my team's in it, nothing else matters.
Right,
But
of course.
if my team's not in it, like, yes, the game, but the commercials and the best part is like being with friends and having like a barbecue and having Super Bowl food, Super Bowl party, like Super Bowl parties. That's like the thing. That's why everyone wants Mondays off after the Super Bowl, because Sunday it's like a party day,
Right.
leading up to the game.
100%.
So you can't have that if you go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I've always listened when I think about bucket list sporting events. For me, Super Bowl is not at the top of the list. I think for a lot of people it is. You're 100% right, and you just said you'd probably prefer the championship game over the Super Bowl. Although that doesn't mean it's not on your bucket list. But that to me is not the number one sporting event that I need to attend. Now I don't know what really is, to be honest with you. But for me, it's not.
Well, you attended the Final Four and a national championship game.
That was amazing.
Now, again, you didn't necessarily go as like just a pure fan, but you were obviously rooting for the Aztecs.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I sat courtside, which is ridiculous, in a dome stadium for basketball.
Yeah.
What is
your sporting event of choice that if you were to choose to go to, you would pick?
I mean, I've never done Olympics. I've never done World Cup, and I'd like to at least probably attend. Now, Olympics is so wide ranging. Like you could go see like slalom, or you could see like basketball. Like there's so many events. I think basketball would be cool for Olympics. That'll be an impossible ticket in LA, like literally impossible. World Cup. I don't know. Like what else? What give me a bucket list sporting event that's not a Super Bowl.
I don't want to go to like a World Series game. I've never
You've
been.
Never been?
I've never like you asked me like I should have been like 5 World Series games or something.
That's a good point. Yeah, World Series is great. That's a great one.
I've been to NLCS games.
Yep. That's a good one. We went together
Been
to
to postseason
game.
games. Like a Game 7 Stanley Cup final.
That'd be cool. Just not a diehard hockey guy.
Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Of course.
I don't know if I would choose Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Maybe. Any Game 7 would be cool.
Unless it's the 7th game of like the regular season.
Right.
What do you got, Marshall?
Maybe a prize fight, big championship
Prize fight
boxing,
would
UFC.
be cool. Like a legit.
I've never been to a UFC fight before.
A legit, UFC or like a legit prize fight. By the way, I didn't realize, Jim, the Padres, I thought had second and third, nobody out. Did they? And failed to score? Or was it first and second? Something weird just
Second and
happened.
third, one out.
They have 5 hits. The Cardinals have no hits. We're in the 4th inning, and the Cardinals lead.
Yeah, because Xander Bogaerts ran into an out.
I missed it. I need to see what happened there. I need to go back. I need to rewind. No, we don't really need to. All right. On the other side, STFC is getting ready for a match tonight.
Yeah.
How about the comments from Lionel Messi as he's been suspended for a match because he didn't partake in Wednesday's All-Star game? So he has commented, and we will share those comments with you on the other side. Also, STFC coming up tonight at 7:30. Pre-match coverage will begin at 7. We have Jim's back page coming up as well, plus updates from St. Louis, where the Padres are trailing the Cardinals 1-0. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, the iHeartRadio Music Festival back. Live performances by John Fogerty, Mariah Carey, and more. September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, one stage. Tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. Tell me this wouldn't be peak Padres. And I'm getting ahead of myself.
I know you're going.
I mean, so they're trailing 1-0 in the fourth
Don't even
inning.
say it, dude.
Well, I could say it because it's a reverse jinx, I think.
That's true. You're right.
Because who cares if you throw a no-hitter and a loss?
True.
So, but hear me out. The Cardinals lead 1-0 on the strength of 0 hits. Now watch, there'll be a 3-run home run in 2 seconds.
Right.
But can you imagine throwing a no-hitter in a loss?
No, I can't.
But wouldn't that summarize the Padres' offensive struggles?
Yeah, because Padres have 5 hits.
And their pitching, which has been really good for a bulk of the year.
Yep. It must be hot as hell.
It looks
there.
hot as hell, dude.
Even Tim Leeper in the dugout sweating.
He's not even playing.
Oh, yeah.
It honestly, and you made the good point yesterday on Darvish, like, dude, it's 100 degrees. Sonny Gray struggled.
Yeah, pitch.
It looks awful.
Hey, go pitch in a environment that's not that. And then if you still do the same thing, then we got problems. That's why
try gripping the ball.
Yeah,
when it's
that's
100.
why I'm giving him his next start of like,
yeah.
If you still pitch like you pitched in St. Louis, your next start, then we might have problems.
Yeah, I agree. What do you got, Marshall?
The last time there was a no-hitter for a loss was April 23rd, 1964 of Ken Johnson of the Houston Colt 45s.
You remember that game, Jim?
It was a good game. Yeah.
Were you watching that this
week? What was your favorite part of that game? My part was the 4th inning catch.
Dude, that was a nice play.
It was
Did
a
you
nice
watch on MLB.TV? Presented by Major League Baseball?
I was actually watching on my iPhone. I was doing something.
I jinxed it.
You jinxed it. Good job.
There goes the Cardinals or the Pavetta no-hitter.
It's all your fault.
You did predict that.
Yeah, good job. You did it. Everyone blamed John.
Who cares? They were already losing. On win day, they're going to need to do so and come from behind fashion in a pretty significant way. They trail 3-0 right now in St. Louis in the bottom of the 4th inning.
They've had multiple chances already on offense. Xander Bogaerts made that idiotic mistake on the base paths. They've had multiple chances with runners in scoring position. Got a blunder in the infield by Jake. Nick Pivetta hit Wilson Contreras.
Like, wake up is what I just in general. Like, okay, hey, it's just July, and it's only a 4-game losing streak if they don't win, and it's only until you wake up and come on. Like they this game so far, you can't play like they look like they haven't started the game as of yet.
Very reasonable take by Ballpark Pretzel in the chat. Fire AJ Preller. Padres are cooked.
Jim, is that your burner?
There's 58 games remaining. Fire him. They hold the playoff spot.
It's amazing, man. Over 162, what you deal with, the mind bending you do as a fan.
This dumb, beautiful, dumb sport,
right? There's, like I always say, there's no straight line with baseball. Maybe one team a year, 1 or 2 teams. It just works from day one. Like Detroit this year's had a really nice year.
But Detroit has struggled recently.
Exactly.
And that's given the Toronto Blue Jays a chance to now be the best team in the American League.
Yeah. Or like the Dodgers, the expectations like, oh, all these, it hasn't been a straight line for them. They've dealt with injuries everywhere. They're having a losing month right now. In July, they haven't run away with anything, even with the play right now of the Padres and the Giants. It's just amazing what you deal with as a fan if you watch baseball. If you are a diehard baseball fan, there's not a lot of things in life that are more challenging on your mental health than being a diehard baseball fan. Right?
100%, because it's a everyday sport. At least with football, you have a week.
Although that also sucks. You're sitting around waiting. Man, we lost on that field goal. We don't have another game for 7 days.
But at least you get some time before Sunday happens, or Monday or Thursday,
right?
And you don't have to like go through those highs and lows of every single day. Now, granted, like you said, yeah, it's a week-long thing. But baseball, one day it's great, next day it sucks, next day it sucks, next day it's great, then it's great, then the next day it sucks.
It's a lot.
Like I always look at a baseball season. Give me like an average record, like 85 and
77.
Okay, 85 and 77. Of 162 baseball season, you'll be happy for 85 days and you'll be pissed off 77.
Yeah, right. It's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, you just look at it. Any record,
Yeah.
90 and 72. You're happy for 90 days and you're pissed off for 72.
Yeah, 72 losses in a good year. Think about that. You lose 72 times.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And that team can be considered a good team.
Yeah,
a
that's
really good team.
capable of probably even like getting to
Win-
a World Series.
Yeah.
There's teams that get to World Series 90 wins.
But if the team finishes, even last year, 93 wins, they were pissed off how many days?
Yeah, 70, 69 or whatever.
69.
Yeah.
69. Nice. 69 days. Everyone was pissed off. Every Padres fan. This sucks. Sell the franchise. Trade everybody.
That's why people listen to us. We are very steady.
Oh yeah, we are even
level with our takes
even level headed
over the course of.
Yeah, we don't go one way or the other. We keep it right down the middle.
Well, this would be a nice game to come back and overcome a 3-0 deficit in. They have time as they move to the 5th inning. It is 3-0 Cardinals right now in St. Louis. So apparently, I mean, this is an interesting story as well. The story out of Major League Soccer, where according to Miami, Lionel Messi is quote unquote extremely upset by Major League Soccer's draconian ban. He's been suspended for 1 game because he didn't play in the All-Star game.
Don't have your All-Star game during the middle of a week
say,
and then have soccer matches freaking like 2 days later.
Is it fair to suspend a player for his achievement? Like, you earned a spot on the All-Star game. Now you're not going to participate and you've been now suspended. Like, think about that. If he wasn't an All-Star, he wouldn't be suspended for this weekend's match. But because he was an All-Star, he's been suspended for this weekend's match because he didn't participate.
It's also
Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Don't suspend him, right?
It's the best player in the world.
Don't people want to see him play?
One of the best players in the history of the sport.
It's like throwing out Manny Machado in the top of the 1st inning. Like, people want to see him play.
Like LeBron. Remember a couple years ago when LeBron, it might have been this past year. I think it was this past year. LeBron didn't show up to All-Star weekend
right
until that Sunday.
But they didn't play, right?
He announced that day or the day before. I forget the details, but I know it was either the day of or the day before. He showed up and he's like, goes to the press conference and he goes, by the way, I'm not playing tomorrow or I'm not playing tonight.
Right.
And everyone's like, what? And it took away a spot from somebody that could have been an All-Star as a replacement.
And that was this year, right?
Yes, this past year in San Francisco. Did the NBA suspend LeBron? No.
Didn't Jeter bail in his last All-Star game? Wasn't there a situation?
No, Jeter did not bail in his last All-Star game. No way.
I know that sounds weird, right?
But you get like, hey guys, know your league. Like that's just my opinion. I'm just looking at like maybe if you're gonna schedule the All-Star game in the middle of the week, don't schedule MLS matches like 2 days later. Why don't we give them a week to get back with their clubs and get ready for their next matches? If anything, don't schedule it until at least like Sunday.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the Friday matches are kind of crazy.
Yeah, Mikey Vars was pissed, and looking at the whole. I don't blame him at all.
He was complete sense.
He was like, "This is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?"
It makes sense. All right, let's go to the phones here. 877-767-4760. Larry wants to weigh in, I think, on the Padres. And Larry, you're on with John and Jim. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
How are you?
Good. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you. Hey, really quick, I can't tell you how many times I've been listening to or watching Padre games, and we have 0 runs by the 5th or 6th inning.
It's a lot.
It's almost a guarantee. Our lackluster offense always starts that way. And also, I don't know if we all are not Spanos fans. I don't know if you got a chance to catch Hartman today on the midday show. He lambasted Spanos epically. Spanos, kiss our San Diego butts. Go Padres. Later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
I'm surprised to hear Steve Hartman would be critical.
Yeah,
that's hard to believe.
We've criticized Dino on this show.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah, I think what the Chargers are doing, while the promoting of their brand it's very good promotion of their brand. It's to me falls completely flat. And I think it's embarrassing what they're trying to do, trying to reach out back to old San Diego Charger fans to bring them back in because they know they can't create their own fan base in LA, that they're coming back to San Diego to try to get that fan base to follow them up to LA thinking, oh, it's been enough times. Not enough times passed. No, sorry. You turn your back on this city. You ruined a lot of businesses in this town for leaving. And we don't forget.
And Dean Spanos was here this week with the Chargers because he was with, I want to say, the Navy on the aircraft carrier, wherever they were earlier this week. Dean Spanos was in some of those photos this week. All right, we'll continue to react to Padres and Cardinals. We're here until 6 p.m. Jim's back page coming up as well. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. We'll start with the Padres. Padres and Cardinals underway in St. Louis. Head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Cardinals with just one hit lead the Padres 3-0. Other news in baseball today, one trade to report. Yankees traded for third baseman Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies. And we have SDFC soccer tonight on the station. 7:30 kickoff. 7 p.m. is when our pregame coverage starts as they take on Nashville FC down at Snapdragon Stadium. Rapid Radio is our instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. The bad news, if you're a Padres fan, it's 3-0 Cardinals in the fifth. The good news is Jim has fixed Fernando Tatis Jr. His fixing campaign continues of all players that need to be fixed. What did you tweet?
I didn't call him out. I didn't say like, oh, Tatis sucks. Like I've said about like Manny Machado and like Xander Bogaerts in the past.
Okay.
I just simply quote tweeted a home run from, I think, back in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, I miss watching this guy hit baseballs.
That was 2 games ago, correct?
2 games ago.
Since then, he has 5 hits, 3 doubles, and a homer.
And I also proceeded to retweet like 7 more of his home runs back in 2021 and 2020 and 2019, along with his Adidas Face of Baseball commercial.
Well, anyway, whatever you did for him has actually had a level of success. Yesterday, 3 hits and a home run and a double. Today,
it's all because of me.
2 doubles, I think. So the issue remains the issue. And I just looked this up at the break.
His OPS is now at 818.
That's good.
And it was
good.
below 800
2 days ago
before the series started.
The issue remains the issue, which is they cannot hit with runners in scoring position. As bad as it gets.
Other than that,
Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? They just have really struggled. And again, it's just more highlighted when the team overall isn't playing well and you're trying to snap a little slide here of 3 consecutive games. And they've had their chances in this game. And they're trailing right now 3-0 in the 5th inning. We'll see. They can come back potentially and snap this 3-game slide. They came back yesterday. I mean, their offense came to life certainly yesterday. Not so far today in St. Louis, where the Cardinals, again, are leading 3-0. Jim's back page is coming up. We'll have that for you coming up later in the hour. And we're waiting on the next shoe to drop when it comes to Major League Baseball's trade deadline. Whether it's with the Padres or elsewhere, we've had some amount of movement now over the last 24 hours with Josh Naylor and Ryan McMahon going from the Rockies to the Yankees. And now we wait for the next one and the next one and the next one. And then the first one from AJ Preller.
Now,
do something.
Yeah. Are your notifications on for certain people?
No, see, I'm assuming you'll text me or call me.
Oh, so you're relying on me.
I kind of am. Like
I'm your notification.
Once we're off the air, I'll see it or you'll text me or I won't see it. Because I'm trying to think, was it Arise or was it Cease? You're like, dude, they just traded for Luis Arise.
It was Arise. I called you. You didn't pick up.
I was putting Jones to sleep.
Like,
I think read the book.
Like, huh?
There's the other ways has happened a lot where I see it at 6:04 in the morning and you don't see it until like 9:44 in the morning.
Yes, those are the like, hey, Manny Machado just signed a 10-year contract extension. Yu Darvish just signed a contract extension.
There was like 5 consecutive. The big Padres announcement was coming at 6-7 Pacific.
Yeah, I know.
And you were
I was not awake.
You were unaware.
Well, a couple of them happened at like 6:30 a.m.
Oh yeah,
and I was passed out. And then a lot of your tweets were.
Oh, like when
will Jim see this?
You've had a couple where I think there was one of them. It might have been the Machado extension.
Oh, I didn't see
one of them. You were 4 hours off.
I think it was Machado.
I'm not kidding. I think it was over. It might have been from like 5:55 a.m. until like 10:15. You were like 4 hours.
Because when he signed the contract in Arizona, it was Arizona time.
Right.
So
that's an hour later.
So I think it was like 6 a.m. it got announced. And then, it's 7 a.m. in Arizona and they're all getting there reporting for camp and AJ never sleeps. So of course they did it that early in the morning. And I woke up at like 9. And I remember that day, I didn't even look at my phone until like 9:45. And it was like, what?
What was the other one? I think you were out
Darvish.
No, not even Padres. It might have been you were out with Aaron the night of the Luka trade.
Oh, yes.
Which like broke the internet. Forget about the Padres for a second. This is like this big sports story, one of the biggest sports stories of the year.
It was
Luka.
My birthday.
Is that the night he was traded?
The weekend. It was the weekend of my birthday.
Okay, yeah.
because that was my birthday's in February, and that's around the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So we went to a restaurant up in Carlsbad, Junette Julie. It's like one of the best restaurants you could go to. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a Michelin
I've
star
driven
restaurant.
by. I've seen it. Yeah.
So freaking good. And that was the night that someone actually paid for our meal. So we go to the restaurant, and it's kind of pricey, but we knew going in, like, okay, we're gonna save a little bit of money, and we're gonna kind of splurge a little bit here and have a great night, because we don't
weekend.
Because it's birthday weekend, but also this isn't a place that we're gonna go to very often, like maybe once a year.
Yep.
Right. So we splurge. We get, a couple appetizers. We get a couple drinks. We get the 4-course tasting meal. We get the after dinner drink, right? We get the espresso martinis. She gets the dirty martini. I get the margaritas, right? We get the appetizers. We get the fish, all that stuff, right? And about right when our appetizers came to the table, these two ladies that were sitting next to us, they were having a good night. They were having fun, and they were drinking, and they were a little loud, but they were fine. It was nothing was wrong.
Right.
And one of them spills their wine on the floor next to us. And a little splashed on my shoe, but like nothing bad. It wasn't anything.
It wasn't like all over your
it wasn't like
outfit.
my entire outfit's ruined from this wine. It was like I could barely tell. And they're like, I know they're like drunk and like, oh, we're so sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's okay.
Right.
Everything's good. And so they got up and left probably 15 minutes after that. And we just started like maybe we just started our mains at that time when they left. So we still had to finish our main courses, our desserts, and we had the after dinner drinks and everything. So we had another like 45 minutes left in our meal at least.
Right.
And the waiter comes over to us and he goes, so I want to let you guys know that the two ladies that were sitting next to you, they felt so bad about spilling their wine on you that they're paying for your entire meal.
Which is like what? How much? Like a $400 savings?
Try like $600 savings.
Dude, I've never spent $600 on a meal in my life.
Well, it's because we add tip and we just like, yeah.
Dude, you eat different than I do.
Well, think about, maybe it was less than that. No, it was about 600.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And here we are complaining about the price of Super Bowl tickets.
Well, here's the thing. The entire meal was paid for. It was free.
And while that was happening, Alan Slewa was on YouTube.
And so what I did, ending the story here. So that night I was like, you know what? I'm putting my phone down.
Right.
I am not going to be checking the internet.
Birthday dinner, beautiful dinner.
Yep.
Right.
And also there was also a wrestling event happening. I think it was also Royal Rumble.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to watch it when I got home. So
right. So you didn't want to be on the internet.
I did not want to be on the internet. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me just to put my phone away, just enjoy a night with my wife and not look at anything on the internet, not be distracted, because I know I would be distracted if I looked and I tried to find spoilers and whatnot, which I didn't want to. So I put my phone away and I didn't look at my phone for like 6.5 hours. And in the 6.5 hours was the Luka trade. And I was getting blown up on my phone to where I looked at my phone and I had like 47 text messages and 35 of them were from my brother, who's a diehard Lakers fan.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? And still, I didn't look at my phone because I thought it was about like,
oh yeah. So you're like, no, I can't watch it because it's about wrestling.
Yeah, I thought it was about Royal Rumble or something.
Yeah.
So I didn't check my phone until like midnight before I found out that Luka got traded. And Luka got traded at like 6:30. It was a wild
That was a crazy night. That was a crazy night. All right. On the other side, we're going to get to Jim's back page. Updates from St. Louis, Padres and Cardinals, 3-0 St. Louis through 5 innings. Jim's back page on the other side. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time on John and Jim San Diego Sports 760. You can join us tonight. We'll have a wrap-up show on YouTube. We'll see if the Padres can come back and win. We would like to see it. It would be impressive because they're trailing 3-0 right now in the 6th inning. You mentioned the fact at the break that the starter for the Cardinals had, what, a 5.2 ERA coming in?
Yep.
Miles Mikolas, Nick Pivetta had his 2.8 ERA coming in, but it's the Cardinals that have the 3-0 lead. And Mikolas went 5 shutout innings to this point. He's responsible for one of these base runners.
Pavetta's gone 5. He's only given up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 runs overall.
Yeah.
3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Again, Mikolas, he goes 5, gives up 7 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks, no earned runs.
And the Padres, what did I just say? It's broken record stuff. Base runners can't come through. Runners in scoring position can't come through. And the crazy thing is, Jim, it's hard to struggle like this for 100 games. You'd think there'd just be a breakthrough. We said it in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
There was never a breakthrough. Yeah. And you're like, how?
I know.
And I'm saying it in 2025, dude. I'm telling you, the similarities between their struggles in 2023 with runners in scoring position and this team, it's not identical. That team was historically awful in those spots. This team is flat out bad with runners in scoring position. Flat out bad.
You know it's bad when, as a team, you're now 0 for 6 as runners in scoring position, and you just can't get any type of thing going. It's just
right. How many opportunities? Right? Don't you think when given 10 opportunities, you're just going to break through? I know they've had 6, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Over the course of a game.
Yeah. It's just that's been the story of this Padres team is. They can't hit with runners in scoring position consistently enough to where they are struggling to score runs because they're not hitting homers. They don't have much power up and down this lineup, and they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. It feels like every time they have something going and runners get in scoring position, then always like the bottom of the lineup's up or somebody that is struggling's up, and they don't come through.
It's crazy.
So,
all right, let's get to it.
Brent would like this one. Okay. Wendy's is spicing up your mornings with a sizzling new deal, John. From now through August 31st, guests can enjoy select breakfast biscuit sandwiches for just $1 each. The limited time promotion includes 3 popular biscuit options: sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, and honey butter chicken biscuits. I would probably do the honey butter chicken biscuit.
You said these are $1?
Yeah, $1.
That's a deal, right? Is anything $1 anymore?
No app, coupon,
wow.
or digital code is required to redeem the offer. Wow. Customers can simply just walk in and order up to 5 sandwiches per person per day during Wendy's breakfast hours, which typically run until 10:30 a.m.
Send that to Brent.
I know he would love that.
Yeah.
If you're not listening, Brent,
is he?
Maybe.
Is Brent all right? Was he sick or something?
I did text him today because I went this morning to.
Oh yeah, what'd you say?
Fantastic Four.
You saw Frozen? Fantastic.
Well, yeah, Fantastic Four. Because there's not a time this weekend that would work for us to go watch the movie, and I will go watch it again for sure. But
what do you mean you'll watch it again? I mean, it's self-explanatory. He's not just playing it.
I'll watch the movie multiple times. What do you mean? No, I can watch a movie only once.
How much is a movie? 10, 15, $20? What? I have no idea.
$13.
So that's an investment to see it twice, dude.
Okay.
Right?
I know. Hey, maybe.
It's an investment.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
But anyway, I texted Brent.
Right.
And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm chugging orange juice.
Really?
I didn't realize orange juice was like the thing that
immune system.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like, what do they say? Like old wives' tales or whatever. Like, who knows if any of this stuff works, but if you believe it's going to work,
right,
it can be helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Another movie that came out today, John, on Netflix is Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, with a million different cameos in the movie.
This is straight to Netflix. This wasn't
straight
a theater
to
movie.
straight to Netflix. But Subway is partnering with Happy Gilmore to release new Happy Gilmore meals. Subway has launched a limited time Happy Gilmore meal to celebrate the upcoming release of Happy Gilmore 2. The campaign, created in partnership with Netflix, features a new commercial starring Shooter McGavin alongside pro golfer Bryson DeChambeau. You can get a cup, official Happy Gilmore cup. They have a Shooter McGavin, Happy Gilmore, Happy's caddy, which is played by Bad Bunny, and then Ben Stiller's character in the movie. I forget his name, but those are the 4 cups that you can get at a participating Subway. If you just get a combo deal, you add $1, you get a cup.
The original came out 29 years ago.
I know.
Talk about an amount of time between movies.
Right. They originally weren't going to do it, and then
Is
they
that
just, probably dropped the fat check and was like, okay, here you go.
We'll do that.
And finally, I probably should have led with this, and we probably should have talked about this more, but scientists have potentially dropped a bombshell on everybody.
Okay.
I know we always joke about like asteroids and
they're so funny.
aliens, and you're like
hilarious.
You're like, why do we want aliens to come to Earth?
I don't want any to come to Earth.
Well, this being reported today, a scientist reporting a possible hostile alien threat detected in a unknown interstellar object. The New York Post reports, quote, a mysterious intergalactic object could potentially be a hostile alien spacecraft that's slated to attack our planet in November, according to a new study by a small group of scientists. What?
First of all, what do you mean could? And why would you be planning an attack in November? Like, wouldn't you just do it now?
Harvard astrophysicists suggest aliens may attack Earth in November of 2025 after revealing an object spotted in space that could very well be a hostile alien spacecraft.
Our luck.
Our luck.
I mean, it's just like, yeah, I don't need that. Because I already had one Aztec basketball season end because of a pandemic. I don't need another 10 because of an alien attack.
Yeah, I'm not good with this. Like, this ain't cool.
Where'd you find this though? Is this like
the New York Post?
ESPN The Ocho?
No.
I don't know if everything in the New York Post.
But it's being reported by multiple outlets right now. A catastrophic hostile alien ship.
Alien? Let me put on to alien.
Search it right now.
Alien. No one's overly worried. People are worried. Yeah, there's some people worried. There's some people. There's 2,000 comments on Twitter. The New York Post tweet. People are worried. I'm more worried about Pavetta. I'm more worried about the deadline, to be honest with you. It's my primary concern.
Well, if we're all going to die in November, then AJ, trade everybody.
Well, yeah, try to win the World Series. Because that thing could end in October.
Trade DeVries, trade everybody. Who cares at this point?
Build your super team because of the alien
The
attack.
Fantastic Four, who I just saw today, aren't coming to save us.
Right.
So
would you give it 2 thumbs up?
Oh, I'd give it 2 thumbs way up. Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Great movie.
4 thumbs up.
It might be forecasting what's about to come to our Earth.
Oh, don't tease that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the aliens are going to come and kill us all in November.
All right, join us tonight for a wrap-up show. We're back
It's all
Monday.
fun and games until the aliens are shooting us.
I don't care. Trade deadline's coming.
True.
All right, we're back Monday at 2 p.m. Marshall, thank you. Sammy, thank you. If you missed anything today, go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. We'll catch up tonight following Padres and Cardinals at 9:30 on the wrap-up show. We've got STFC soccer coming up tonight at 7 p.m. And for Marshall and Sammy and Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.